Full team effort. It's an easy game if you're doing it with your brother.
2-on-5 situation.
Let's go, Heat. One side ticket.
After 3 wins in a row, San Diego Dynasty finally ran into a wall at the Lone Star Open. It had been an epic historic run, winning 21 games without a loss. But even Dynasty's greatness has its limits. 10th place is disappointing. The Dynasty really only had one bad day in Texas. They dropped 2 games on Friday, and then they charged back and won both of their games on Saturday, including taking down Tampa Bay Damage, who went on to win the event. So despite this small stumble, Dynasty is still the ultimate favorite to win tournaments for the rest of 2022. After having problems with injuries to core members, everyone is healthy, which is bad news for the rest of the Pro League. Dynasty is currently ranked 4th overall, and they are still in peak form. Their roster boasts some of the greatest players ever to play the game, some of whom are elite and winning MVPs, even at 40 years old. Dynasty's career trajectory has defined competitive paintball, and with recent roster moves, they just keep getting better and better. After a wild series of events the past few months, Edmonton Impact is headed into the rest of the 2022 NXL season with arguably the strongest and hungriest roster they've had in years. During the offseason, a drastic shakeup of big money offers from the new team Latin Saints caused an outflux of 4 starters, which then necessitated an influx of new all-star talent from other pro teams. But when the Saints' money quickly dried up and dreams of greener pastures died, Alex Mouse Goldman and Justin Rabikoff returned. But even with these returning MVPs, Impact will still be keeping almost all the new players they just picked up, so the roster is absolutely stacked.
Guys we've picked up have really stepped in and filled those roles. Right now, everyone's attitude is just teamwork. It's good, and like the guys are pumped to be there, so we just got some new fire on the team, which is good to have.
Currently ranked 1st overall, even though they didn't win either of the first 2 events, Impact now has the deepest roster in the league. Their finals loss and 2nd place finish to Damage in Texas could not have been any closer, and with the personnel now at their disposal, they are a favorite to win the NXL series in 2022. It had been 9 long years since Tampa Bay Damage was at the top of the game. A decade ago, they were unarguably the best team in paintball, but recently they had fallen on hard times, missing Sunday twice in a row in the middle of last season. But the team, chock full of veterans and experienced leadership, worked harder. They had faith in some new talent, and they refused to die. After taking a frustrating 7th place and losing to the eventual winner San Diego Dynasty by 1 point in the quarterfinals at the first event, Damage stormed into the second event, and they emerged out of the bracket of death, never looking back, beating Infamous, Energy Elite, and Impact on Sunday en route to a victory.
Feels like a long time coming, man. We used to be here on the reg. We fought hard, we fought together. We finally did it. We're back on top, boys. Tampa Bay Damage coming at you.
They also notably accomplished this feat by running 2 lines the whole event, a strategy rarely employed. The finals match also went into a rare set of one-on-ones, with Jacob Edwards emerging as the hero and the finals MVP. Though Brad McCurley is retired and gone for good, they picked up Silos Cortez after the Latin Saints' recent implosion, and Damage is officially back as a favorite to win the NXL Series title in every event from here on out, until the roster or motivation drastically changes. Based on the mastery that they displayed in Texas, that shouldn't be anytime soon. With one of the most stable lineups in the NXL, Houston Heat has been a top contender since their inception in 2012, when they won 3 events in the World Cup in their first year. They've never looked back, and the past decade has only seen Heat's legend grow, adding 2 more World Cup titles in 2018 and 19. Currently ranked 3rd overall, their high-octane all-star lineup prides itself on playing fast-paced, aggressive paintball that leads to most of their games being entertaining, high-scoring shootouts. Though they do love occasionally making things dramatic by dropping games to lower-ranked teams, they typically use those losses to motivate themselves for further greatness, as they have only missed Sunday once in the past 5 years.
I mean, any teams can have rough events right now because there's more parity in the league than there ever has been. There's more skill in the league than there ever has been, and everyone's coming out there fighting.
So far on Sunday in the 2022 NXL season, Heat has lost to the rebuilt San Diego Aftermath squad at the first event in the quarterfinals by 1 point, and then they were knocked out of the semis by Impact in Texas, also by 1 point, as they took third place. Heat won the Mid-Atlantic Major last season, and as long as their roster, which contains some of the most dynamic players in the world, remains the same, then they will be a favorite at every event they play in the foreseeable future. Legends in the game, the most recent incarnation of the Red Legion roster has been stellar the past few seasons, always in the hunt on Sunday with their full field push. Though COVID kept them from getting their entire starting five to tournaments, the roster is elite, with threats in every position, and they are never out of a game as long as there's time left on the clock. Legion prides themselves on their fearless attack, their aggressive mentality, and their stoic nature in pressure situations. Since 2016, they've been in the finals 7 times and won 3 events. As long as the Legion continues to field the same roster, they'll be a favorite at every event. It's been a frustrating start to the 2022 NXL season for fan favorites, New York Extreme. Ranked 15th overall, they've struggled to put wins on the board during the prelims at the first 2 events, going 1-3 in both Florida and Texas, and they have yet to make it to a Sunday. They did have flashes of brilliance during their 7-4 victory over Houston Heat at the last event though, but that victory came in their 4th match, once they knew they didn't have a chance to move on. Since their fearless, no-pressure approach worked against one of the best teams in the league, it would make sense for New York Extreme to take that same reckless attitude to the next event, but start in Game 1. Extreme has been beat up by injuries to their best players and inconsistency to the roster. If they want to get back on track, it starts with fielding a full, healthy squad. It would also help if they could bulk out the roster with some new talent to get them back on track. Until very recently, San Antonio X Factor used to be the most consistent team in the game, always in the hunt for a win in the deep rounds of the NXL tournaments. Before this year, there were children running around entering the 2nd grade who weren't alive the last time X Factor missed a Sunday. But after making it to the finals 3 times out of 5 in the span of a year, from World Cup 2020 to World Cup 2021, X Factor has fallen into a funk, missing both Sundays this season. But the year is young, and though currently ranked 13th overall, X Factor is still a dangerous team that could soon make a run back to the top.
You know, it was one event. We had a lot of bodies. We had a lot of uncertainties where guys were playing, what bodies were doing. So we kind of worked those out in practices, and now we kind of have a general blueprint of what we are doing out here now, which I think will lead to more success.
Everything about the program is elite, from the talent level to the experience to their organization. Simply put, X Factor has just been underperforming, and it should be a matter of time before they could turn the tide and get back into Finals 4. After getting off to a solid start in their first year as a pro squad, making 3 Sundays in a row, including a 5th at the 2020 World Cup, AC Diesel has now missed Sunday for 4 events in a row. This is a disappointing turn of events for a team that began their pro careers with high expectations and respectable early results. But, like most pro teams, they've had a hard time keeping their roster stable, but they've still been able to field an excellent mix of aggressive veterans and new talent who both want to push forward, and smart players who can win points in the scramble. Though they haven't yet had success, they still are a dangerous team that no one should take lightly, and they are determined to get back on track and start moving up the ranking boards yet again. Sacramento DMG is currently sitting in dead last in the Pro Division. They have work to do in order to avoid relegation, as the 20th ranked team at the end of the season is forced down into the semi-pro division. Since DMG's entry into the pro ranks in 2018, they've made Sunday 3 times, but they have lost many of their core killers over the years, players who have gone on to shine with other organizations. Since DMG has been forced to rebuild the past couple of seasons, they have added a few players who have risen up to create a starting 5 that could be consistent as the season progresses. But they also needed more firepower on offense, which they got with the new pickup of Zach Hill, and he will definitely help in their quest to avoid relegation and get them back to being a team that can make it to Sunday. Normally and historically, the first year of any team's journey into the Pro Division is immensely difficult and littered with big losses, as their players try to catch up to the pace set by the world's best squads. But this has not been the case for the New Orleans Hurricanes. They're not winning tournaments yet, but through the first 2 events, they are proving that they deserve to be in the NXL Pro Division. They play with a methodically aggressive style. They make few mistakes and they shoot bodies on the break.
You know, we got to improve that consistency. And that's what the Pro League is about, right? Those teams that are consistent. So we've got to up that consistency and just, show out, play our game, be tactical and strategic.
Their core is filled with players who have been grinding up the divisions for years. Players who, so far, look mentally mature and ready for these big moments. They went 3-1 in Texas and they made Sunday in only their second pro tournament ever, eventually losing to Houston Heat by 3 in the quarterfinals. It's still early, but so far, this rookie pro team looks to have a bright future in the NXL Pro Division. After starting off their pro careers near the bottom of the professional barrel, Columbus Level quickly has become one of the more compelling stories in the game. Last year, Level struggled at the beginning of the season with a 19th and a 20th place finish. And if they didn't drastically improve, they were staring down relegation back to the semi-pro division. But something clicked during their last prelim match in that 19th place finish, where they found a way to beat Houston Heat, who went on to win the tournament. And since then, they have looked like a completely different team. Across the field, each of their starting 5 is having huge moments, and they're getting a high level of production from everyone. The team is filled with hardened, Midwestern, blue-collar ballers, players who have spent time in the lower divisional trenches learning the hard way. They took 3rd at the first event of the year, and when Level is on, they look like they could be a contender. SD Aftermath is a team that's historically bred some of the toughest, most elite players in the game. And since the beginning of the current rebuild in early 2021, they have done nothing but improve.
Definitely better than last year's team, for what it's worth, but you still have the gel factor. The best guys don't always make the best teams, so getting everybody to click together and support each other and, just simple things like that is kind of what we're trying to do right now, and that's the challenge ahead of us.
They are currently ranked 5th overall, and they have made Sunday 5 out of the 6 tournaments that they've entered with this new lineup. Though traditionally a team known for aggression in both attitude and tactics, the knock on Aftermath's new version when it was first assembled last season was that they played too conservatively. But this is no longer the truth, as recent events have proven that they can fly forward and hang with almost any squad should the field play fast. All Aftermath needs is a bit more confidence, with a bit more experience, and then they will threaten for wins. In one of the more compelling stories emerging this season, the ML Kings have drastically improved, and they are now starting to earn respect as a threat from everyone in the league. They play a high-powered run-and-gun offense, never scared to take ground, and they keep their second attackers very close to the front line of battle. This full-court offensive push keeps their opponents guessing, and it creates a pace that is hard to match. Once a team comprised mostly of players from the Czech Republic, the newly rebuilt squad is all US-based. They've made it to Sunday 3 events in a row going back to World Cup last year. Though they have yet to move out of the first round on Sunday, they've been competitive in close losses on paintball's most important day, to Aftermath twice and Houston Heat once. If they can keep the team together and train hard, there is no reason the ML Kings shouldn't be able to contend with the top teams in the big moments and make a run at a win. After crashing into the professional paintball scene in dramatic style, gathering all-stars from across the league, and forcing a seismic change in rosters up and down the ranking board, the Latin Saints entered their second tournament ever with a completely different look and a whole new story. The super team dream is dead, and they are now under new ownership and new management. With a roster devoid of all-stars, they are now filled with up-and-coming players from Latin America. The good news for this inexperienced new roster is the second place finish at the first event should keep them from worrying about relegation for the remainder of the 2022 season. Their Latin line had some good looks at the event in Orlando, and no matter what, they're going to be fun to watch because players from Latin America have been known to exhibit a reckless style of paintball. Seattle Uprising is a tale of 2 teams, as they are the most inconsistent team in pro paintball. Some events they seem destined to go deep, and maybe even threaten for a win, as evidenced by their 4th place finish at the Philadelphia Open in 2019. At other events they have a hard time even making it to Sunday, and there have been a few events recently where they have struggled to even win a game. Their inconsistency is puzzling considering how consistent their roster has been over the years. No matter what, Uprising is an exciting team to watch because they play aggressive, and you just never know what you're going to see. Seattle Thunder merged with the semi-pro squad the Brooklyn Bears in the offseason, with each team only bringing 5 bodies to create this new 10-man roster. Now, Thunder had seen its fair share of ups and downs over the past 10 years, with a big glimmer of hope during a solid run at the beginning of the 2021 season, where they took a 5th and a 6th place, and they went undefeated in their prelim matches for 2 whole events. The Bears took 3rd place semi-pro last season, and they were filled with players who'd had pro experience on different squads over the years. No one, including this new team, knew how long it would take for them to gel, but they found a way to beat Houston Heat in their very first tournament together. And though it was their only win, their 3 losses were all only by 1 point. If they keep this up, Seattle Thunder could make some Sundays and improve upon their 12th place ranking in 2022. One of the longest running pro teams in the game, Los Angeles Infamous's roster has always been a who's who with the top players over the years. And though they haven't won an NXL event since Texas of 2016, they could be in for another winning run here in 2022. They were the most consistent team last year, but they ended up taking 2nd overall to Dynasty, as they were the only team in the top 4 who did not win a tournament. They have all the tools needed to again put victories into the record books.
We believe that we have a winning squad. We believe that we have a top squad. We believe that we make too many mistakes. That is what's kept us out of taking that 1st place trophy. We got depth and we're contenders, and so we're coming to bang as always. I mean, that's what the squad brings, right?
They're a team that loves to push forward and play aggressive. They have an awesome roster packed with stars and veteran leaders. So far this season, Infamous has not found the podium though, as they barely made it to Sunday at the first event after going 2-2 in the prelims, and then they lost in the wildcard round to take 9th. They improved in Texas though, as they went 3-1 in the bracket of death to emerge as the favorite in the top seed. Then they lost to eventual event winners Damage by 1 in the quarterfinals. Infamous is still on everyone's list to take a victory in 2022. The longest-running pro team in the NXL, the Los Angeles Ironmen, shocked the paintball world at the beginning of 2020 when they won their first event in a decade, and they did this a few short weeks after putting together a new roster. But since that win, the experienced pros have mostly left for other squads, and the roster spots filled with up-and-coming divisional players. In 2022, this new roster has gotten off to a bit of a slow start, taking 19th at the first event, and then last place in Texas. The Ironmen need to improve, and improve fast. They want to keep the most storied franchise currently playing professional paintball in the actual pro league. Energy Elite entered the NXL Pro Division in 2020, and like most new pro teams, they got off to a slow start, not finishing higher than 15th their first 4 events. But midway through last season, they started to shake off some of the issues plaguing their on-field results, and they became much more consistent, making their first Sunday in Chicago. Always a team that's played well in the scramble, they thrive when things get chaotic, but like many new teams, they ultimately had trouble with the pace of the pro league. But Energy's offense really started to shine at the second event this year in Texas, where they mercy ruled Revo, beat Aftermath twice, before eventually losing to Houston Heat and taking 4th place, their best finish ever. If they can keep that level of performance up, then they'll continue to make Sundays, and they will be a threat to the top teams in the NXL.
King time on 1, 2, 3. King time! If you're worried if somebody's got the trap, call and find out if the trap's there.
That's a full team effort. All 9 guys on the fucking roster.
It's an easy game if you're doing it with your brother.
2-on-5 situation.
Let's go, Heat. One side ticket.
After 3 wins in a row, San Diego Dynasty finally ran into a wall at the Lone Star Open. It had been an epic historic run, winning 21 games without a loss. But even Dynasty's greatness has its limits. 10th place is disappointing, but Dynasty really only had one bad day in Texas. They dropped 2 games on Friday, but then they charged back and won both of their games on Saturday, including taking down Tampa Bay Damage, who went on to win the event. So despite this small stumble, Dynasty is still the ultimate favorite to win tournaments for the rest of 2022. After having problems with injuries to core members, everyone is healthy, which is bad news for the rest of the Pro League. Dynasty is currently ranked 4th overall, and they are still in peak form. Their roster boasts some of the greatest players ever to play the game, some of whom are elite and winning MVPs, even at 40 years old. Dynasty's career trajectory has defined competitive paintball, and with recent roster moves, they just keep getting better and better. After a wild series of events the past few months, Edmonton Impact is headed into the rest of the 2022 NXL season with arguably the strongest and hungriest roster they've had in years. During the offseason, a drastic shakeup of big money offers from the new team Latin Saints caused an outflux of 4 starters, which then necessitated an influx of new all-star talent from other pro teams. But when the Saints' money quickly dried up and dreams of greener pastures died, Alex Mouse Goldman and Justin Rabikoff returned. But even with these returning MVPs, Impact will still be keeping almost all the new players they just picked up, so the roster is absolutely stacked.
Guys we've picked up have really stepped in and filled those roles. Right now, everyone's attitude is just teamwork. It's good, and like the guys are pumped to be there, so we just got some new fire on the team, which is it's good to have.
Currently ranked 1st overall, even though they didn't win either of the first 2 events, Impact now has the deepest roster in the league. Their finals loss and 2nd place finish to Damage in Texas could not have been any closer, and with the personnel now at their disposal, they are a favorite to win the NXL series in 2022. It had been 9 long years since Tampa Bay Damage was at the top of the game. A decade ago, they were unarguably the best team in paintball, but recently they had fallen on hard times, missing Sunday twice in a row in the middle of last season. But the team, chock full of veterans and experienced leadership, worked harder. They had faith in some new talent, and they refused to die. After taking a frustrating 7th place and losing to the eventual winner San Diego Dynasty by 1 point in the quarterfinals at the first event, Damage stormed into the 2nd event, and they emerged out of the bracket of death, never looking back, beating Infamous, Energy Elite, and Impact on Sunday en route to a victory.
Feels like a long time coming, man. We used to be here on the reg. We fought hard, we fought together. We finally did it. We're back on top, boys. Tampa Bay Damage coming at you.
They also notably accomplished this feat by running 2 lines the whole event, a strategy rarely employed. The finals match also went into a rare set of one-on-ones, with Jacob Edwards emerging as the hero and the finals MVP. Though Brad McCurley is retired and gone for good, they picked up Silos Cortez after the Latin Saints' recent implosion, and Damage is officially back as a favorite to win the NXL Series title in every event from here on out, until the roster or motivation drastically changes. Based on the mastery that they displayed in Texas, that shouldn't be anytime soon. With one of the most stable lineups in the NXL, Houston Heat has been a top contender since their inception in 2012, when they won 3 events in the World Cup in their first year. They've never looked back, and the past decade has only seen Heat's legend grow, adding 2 more World Cup titles in 2018 and 19. Currently ranked 3rd overall, their high-octane all-star lineup prides itself on playing fast-paced, aggressive paintball that leads to most of their games being entertaining, high-scoring shootouts. Though they do love occasionally making things dramatic by dropping games to lower-ranked teams, they typically use those losses to motivate themselves for further greatness, as they have only missed Sunday once in the past 5 years.
I mean, any teams can have rough events right now because there's more parity in the league than there ever has been. There's more skill in the league than there ever has been, and everyone's coming out there fighting.
So far on Sunday in the 2022 NXL season, Heat has lost to the rebuilt San Diego Aftermath squad at the first event in the quarterfinals by 1 point, and then they were knocked out of the semis by Impact in Texas, also by 1 point, as they took 3rd place. Heat won the Mid-Atlantic Major last season, and as long as their roster, which contains some of the most dynamic players in the world, remains the same, then they will be a favorite at every event they play in the foreseeable future. Legends in the game, the most recent incarnation of the Red Legion roster has been stellar the past few seasons, always in the hunt on Sunday with their full field push. Though COVID kept them from getting their entire starting 5 to tournaments, the roster is elite, with threats in every position, and they are never out of a game as long as there's time left on the clock. Legion prides themselves on their fearless attack, their aggressive mentality, and their stoic nature in pressure situations. Since 2016, they've been in the finals 7 times and won 3 events. As long as the Legion continues to field the same roster, they'll be a favorite at every event. It's been a frustrating start to the 2022 NXL season for fan favorites, New York Extreme. Ranked 15th overall, they've struggled to put wins on the board during the prelims at the first 2 events, going 1-3 in both Florida and Texas, and they have yet to make it to a Sunday. They did have flashes of brilliance during their 7-4 victory over Houston Heat at the last event, though, but that victory came in their 4th match, once they knew they didn't have a chance to move on. Since their fearless, no-pressure approach worked against one of the best teams in the league, it would make sense for New York Extreme to take that same reckless attitude to the next event, but start in Game 1. Extreme has been beat up by injuries to their best players and inconsistency to the roster. If they want to get back on track, it starts with fielding a full, healthy squad. It would also help if they could bulk out the roster with some new talent to get them back on track. Until very recently, San Antonio X Factor used to be the most consistent team in the game, always in the hunt for a win in the deep rounds of the NXL tournaments. Before this year, there were children running around entering the 2nd grade who weren't alive the last time X Factor missed a Sunday. But after making it to the finals 3 times out of 5 in the span of a year, from World Cup 2020 to World Cup 2021, X Factor has fallen into a funk, missing both Sundays this season. But the year is young, and though currently ranked 13th overall, X Factor is still a dangerous team that could soon make a run back to the top.
You know, it was one event. We had a lot of bodies. We had a lot of uncertainties where guys were playing, what bodies were doing. So we kind of worked those out in practices, and now we kind of have a general blueprint of what we are doing out here now, which I think will lead to more success.
Everything about the program is elite, from the talent level to the experience to their organization. Simply put, X Factor has just been underperforming, and it should be a matter of time before they can turn the tide and get back into Finals 4. After getting off to a solid start in their first year as a pro squad, making 3 Sundays in a row, including a 5th at the 2020 World Cup, AC Diesel has now missed Sunday for 4 events in a row. This is a disappointing turn of events for a team that began their pro careers with high expectations and respectable early results. But, like most pro teams, they've had a hard time keeping their roster stable, but they've still been able to field an excellent mix of aggressive veterans and new talent who both want to push forward, and smart players who can win points in the scramble. Though they haven't yet had success, they still are a dangerous team that no one should take lightly, and they are determined to get back on track and start moving up the ranking boards yet again. Sacramento DMG is currently sitting in dead last in the Pro Division. They have work to do in order to avoid relegation, as the 20th ranked team at the end of the season is forced down into the semi-pro division. Since DMG's entry into the pro ranks in 2018, they've made Sunday 3 times, but they have lost many of their core killers over the years, players who have gone on to shine with other organizations. Since DMG has been forced to rebuild the past couple of seasons, they have added a few players who have risen up to create a starting 5 that could be consistent as the season progresses. But they also needed more firepower on offense, which they got with the new pickup of Zach Hill, and he will definitely help in their quest to avoid relegation and get them back to being a team that can make it to Sunday. Normally and historically, the first year of any team's journey into the Pro Division is immensely difficult and littered with big losses, as their players try to catch up to the pace set by the world's best squads. But this has not been the case for the New Orleans Hurricanes. They're not winning tournaments yet, but through the first 2 events they are proving that they deserve to be in the NXL Pro Division. They play with a methodically aggressive style, they make few mistakes, and they shoot bodies on the break.
You know, we got to improve that consistency. And that's what the Pro League is about, right? Those teams that are consistent. So we've got to up that consistency and just, show out, play our game, be tactical and strategic.
Their core is filled with players who have been grinding up the divisions for years. Players who, so far, look mentally mature and ready for these big moments. They went 3-1 in Texas and they made Sunday in only their 2nd pro tournament ever, eventually losing to Houston Heat by 3 in the quarterfinals. It's still early, but so far, this rookie pro team looks to have a bright future in the NXL Pro Division. After starting off their pro careers near the bottom of the professional barrel, Columbus Level quickly has become one of the more compelling stories in the game. Last year, Level struggled at the beginning of the season with a 19th and a 20th place finish. And if they didn't drastically improve, they were staring down relegation back to the semi-pro division. But something clicked during their last prelim match in that 19th place finish, where they found a way to beat Houston Heat and went on to win the tournament. And since then, they have looked like a completely different team. Across the field, each of their starting five is having huge moments, and they're getting a high level of production from everyone. The team is filled with hardened, Midwestern, blue-collar ballers, players who have spent time in the lower divisional trenches learning the hard way. They took third at the first event of the year, and when Level is on, they look like they could be a contender. SD Aftermath is a team that's historically bred some of the toughest, most elite players in the game. And since the beginning of the current rebuild in early 2021, they have done nothing but improve.
Definitely better than last year's team for what it's worth, but you still have the gel factor. You know, the best guys don't always make the best teams. So getting everybody to click together and support each other and, just simple things like that is kind of what we're trying to do right now, and that's the challenge ahead of us.
They are currently ranked 5th overall, and they have made Sunday 5 out of the 6 tournaments that they've entered with this new lineup. Though traditionally a team known for aggression in both attitude and tactics, the knock on Aftermath's new version when it was first assembled last season was that they played too conservatively. But this is no longer the truth, as recent events have proven that they can fly forward and hang with almost any squad should the field play fast. All Aftermath needs is a bit more confidence, with a bit more experience, and then they will threaten for wins. In one of the more compelling stories emerging this season, the ML Kings have drastically improved, and they are now starting to earn respect as a threat from everyone in the league. Welcome to Sunday's competition here at the 2022 NXL Golden State Open. 4th stop on the tour this year. I'm Matty Marshall with Rich Telford. Before we get into the professional quarterfinal battles, the top 8 teams going to throw down. We are first going to see D3 semifinals, so the winner of these games is going to be going into the D3 finals. It's going to be Xball here, and it's Sacramento DMG, their D3 squad, hometown field. As we're at Capital Edge Paintball Park, Dave Baines' field. And they've made it here into the semis. They're going to be taking on DBS Factory. And then also in this set, in these D3 battles, Seattle Ninjas taking on New Cartel. And we're about to jump here in the first point. Rich, also, with this blind layout, we're probably going to still see evolution of game plans today. What do you think?
10 seconds. Definitely see evolution of game plans. And hopefully, we haven't seen a lot of D3, so they could be doing something completely different than the pros are doing.
And we'll have to see how that applies, right? Maybe the pros are going to learn something here from D3.
Jumping into point number 1 with DBS Factory. Then the black starting from the blue side of the field, and Sacramento DMG on the red side. And it looks like first to drop a body is going to be DMG.
Yeah, good breakout here for Doodlebug. They get all the way to that key bunker on that left side of the field, or the drill side of the field, Matt. He's able to cut down. Oh, another DMG player taking a walk, Matty. 3-on-5 advantage here early on for DBS.
Yeah, so that has definitely become the most important bunker on the field, is that brick in the V structure on the D side of the field. Oh, body's dropping as a penalty going to be assessed here on DBS Factory. So they had an initial advantage, but squandering that now, or definitely squandering it. But maybe they could still win this point, though. I mean, they still have 3 bodies alive.
It's still 3-on-3, right?
And they are still, another penalty assessed on DBS Factory. So
that will not do it for him.
Yeah, so 4 bodies have come off, 2 from getting shot.
Austin Kane releasing through the middle, Matty. Austin Kane with a big move there to finish this off.
Nice work. Nice work. Did
you do something to anger Austin? Because he looked at you like very aggressively.
He definitely looked up here like, did you see that?
Are you guys paying attention?
Hey, we did see that, and that was a nice move. But your opponent,
focus on the game.
Well, and also your opponent's got 2 penalties, so let's not start patting each other on the back quite yet.
What I like about that bunker on the drill tape, Matty, that key bunker that we've been talking about, is Dylan Boyum really showed us yesterday that you can just roll in there almost on the break, unstoppable, and you can control the whole other side of the field. So even a bigger guy can get in there really early and really make a big impact.
Yeah, indeed. And That's what I'm wondering, though, when I was bringing up evolution in the game plan. So we have definitely seen that become the kind of the go-to stock, aggressive, safe play, like safe and aggressive at the same time, or safest out of your options.
Yeah.
But how are you going to counter
Least
that?
risk, highest reward.
Do you send another body up? Do we put somebody in different positions, shoot him off the break?
So that was my question to New York yesterday. Is like, how do we stop that dude?
Yeah.
And if we can't stop that dude, shouldn't we be in there every single point as well? If it's easy to take and then just kind of take that real estate.
20 seconds.
All right.
I'm sure a lot of teams were talking about that very thing last night. How do we get there first, and how do we not let them get there?
Yeah, and then 10 seconds to go
Seattle
after this.
Ninjas and the Cartel.
Yeah, Seattle Ninjas, new Cartel.
Seattle Ninjas, 4 across the back, 1 to the key bunker on this side. They lose their corner player. Center player getting a check right now. 4 on 4 here, Maddie, as Cartel. Oh, a penalty on the Ninjas. He got shot, try to get off. So 2 bodies left alive for the Ninjas in this early first point here, Maddie.
When you're
4 on 2.
When you're drawing it up in your head, first point, not what it looks like.
This is not what it looked like. What I like too is the reason why they got shot, or the reason why it didn't work, was never that they didn't do what they were supposed to do, right? It was like, oh, this, that, and the other thing. It was the sun, it was this, it was the ref. Not like, I just blew it, sorry. Game plan was tight, I just blew it. So only 1 Ninja left, but he does get an elimination. Must be a strong Ninja over there in D1. I see.
Oh, a little tactical retreat here, a little outside movement for New Cartel to get out wide here on the X side of the field, as he saw his buddy die and wanted to spread the field out. So they don't have an attacker over here currently.
I don't think
it has been a very chaotic first point.
Yeah, I think it's 3 on 1, Maddie.
Yeah, I think you're right. Definitely a body in D1. I can't see the back corner, so if the back corner's hot. I don't see it moving around, and at this stage in the game, it'd probably be moving around a little bit. So Gates makes his move for New Cartel to get into bunker outside wide.
And we apologize. There's a few bunkers we can't see on the field here, and usually when that happens, Matt can see one of them and I can see the other one, but this one we're mirrored up. We cannot see the back center together. We both can't see the inside of the corners.
Yeah, we do have a really good view, except
on everything
for back
else.
corner bunkers.
Good communication here by the New Cartel, shooting across the field. He's over here in the 50. He's got at least 1 with him on the Dorito Tower. Seattle Ninja repositions from the Dorito to the tower. He's in a 2-on-1 situation.
Yeah, Gates needs to be careful here, and his teammate needs to get in the game. They don't know the count.
Apparently no, and Gates only got 1 pod left already. This is a fast, kind of chaotic point here. Slowing down a little bit now into this 2-on-1 because, like you said, I don't think the New Cartel knows it's a 2-on-1.
I don't like Gates coming to the inside. It's not going to matter though. So Gates did it pretty much by himself, because I don't think his back player knew that he was in a 2-on-1. Because if he was, he would have been pushing up the field while that other guy was shooting at Gates.
Yes and no. I mean, sometimes you just want to watch Gates work. You know what I mean? You just want to like.
Hey, Gates looked pretty good out there. He made the nice move outside wide. He got in there, and he definitely knew where that last body was. Now, I probably would have been telling my boy, like, hey, it's a 2-on-1. He's at the tower.
The bad guy is shooting at me. Can you do something,
He's
please?
on me. Get up the field.
We call this the on me, on you drill.
You see all those Doritos over there. Just pick a couple of them. And no, it was just a chaotic point, and they were able to finish it off. Also interesting, I got some information from Nate Schrader, infamous Northwest guy. And, obviously, rightfully so, wears, his Northwest status proudly, as he should. That's always been a hotbed for paintball. He said one of the D3 brackets had 3 teams from the Northwest, and the Ninjas and DBS Factory made it out of that bracket. And then the Ninjas are playing New Cartel, which made it out of the other bracket. So 3 Northwest teams have made it to the top 4, which is
as it should be.
Pretty solid.
Good job, guys.
And then Ninjas and Factory play out of the same field, DBS.
Nice. Toodlebug, right?
Yeah, so, DBS is holding it down here.
Holding it down. Nice. A little bit more action over here on the West Coast between Texas and Florida, man. We need DBS losing their first player, attacking over here on the Snake side or the X side of the field, Matt.
Yeah, anytime we see these D3 matchups, regardless of where we are in the United States, there's just always Texas teams in here, Florida teams, a couple teams from California, and then the Northwest has some awesome paintball players, as they always have. Legendary teams coming out of there. So jumping in this next one here with DBS Factory, Sac DMG, and great position for DBS Factory, getting up into that brick, and looks like Sac DMG is going to be losing their body from the tower. They got a little outside
containment now as they get a body into D3, and his teammate, his second attacker, is going to get close to him, but they're going to be losing a body. Probably another penalty here. Oh, my God. Well, penalties flying early.
Yes, they
DBS
are.
Factory got 2 of them in the first point, and then now Sac DMG gets their own, and then DBS loses that player from the brick. So,
yeah, Azevedo got shot, walked out. It was a 4-on-4, so no big deal, and then everything fell apart really, really quickly after that penalty, unfortunately. So DBS Factory going to easily win this point and get back to this match, making it a 1-1 with just over 9 minutes and 30 seconds left. Yeah, and DBS, like, they've had strong teams in the past. Obviously, they've been around for a while, the program.
Yeah.
Looking good
Over
here.
the years, we've
Yeah.
seen quite a few, again, like we've been talking about teams from the Northwest, but specifically, you know, out of DBS. Yeah, due to Gosports. And a shout out to our boy Nate. Good to see you back
Nate
and
the Great.
healthy again. He's been dealing with so many shoulder injuries, but
He is a little fragile.
Back
You
in,
got to handle him with care.
back at full strength and playing on Infamous again. And I think he's here coaching.
Oh, good. Honestly, that's one thing we need in this industry is more good coaches.
Yeah, like the 3rd time he blew out his shoulder, and I think maybe the 3rd surgery, I'd asked him, like, is this it?
Do you think you're strong enough to hold a clipboard?
Do you want to do this
Can
again?
you hold a clipboard?
And he was adamant, I will be back, but it took him like a good 2 seasons.
Hey, I have a lot of respect for athletes that come back after big injuries like that because it's
of the same type over and over again. You know,
any time though, because you have to go back and relearn everything, and you know your timing is off, and it's really defeating to go back and not be where you were, you know, before the injury, and knowing that you not only do you have to kind of get back in shape, but now you got to catch back up with everybody else. I really respect that.
Yeah, me too. I would like to see a point with no penalties, just so we can actually
Not today, my friend.
so we can get a read. We can get a read on who looks better.
I heard the
As it
referees talking
stands
about
now,
this
who knows?
morning, and they're like, "Listen, no matter what, every point there's a penalty, just so we're all on the same page."
Yeah, it's we'll see. I mean, they're
Ninja's playing into the sun here, Maddie.
Yeah, the glare is an issue. There's no clouds at all in the sky again. It's going to be a nice morning, but that glare is going to be an issue for at least the next hour or so if you're playing from the blue side. Oh, aggressive breakout for the Ninjas as they get a body. Both teams get very quickly. Here's our boy Hunter from New Cartel. He comes over. Oh, he's always playing so good. Every time. Hunter always steps up on the center court. Oh, he's got to trade his body. No penalty assessed, though. It's a good, clean trade.
Yeah, I didn't even see him get shot, so. But great move by Hunter. Thought he was going to jump up high early and catch him on the crawl. When he didn't catch him on the crawl, reposition, put himself to go get that guy off the field. Had he done it and stayed alive, it would have been even better, but great move regardless. What I don't like, though, is that with Hunter up in the middle blowing out this side, no one else on the cartel follows them up. He's got 2 guys behind him, and now the attacker that was supposed to follow him up is eliminated.
Yeah.
So they really lost an opportunity off of Hunter's big move there.
Yeah, New Cartel running with a light line. They only have 6 bodies here. So we're going to see steady dose of the same bodies.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of controversy and lots of talk, and one of the things that we talk about a lot on New York Extreme is roster size, right? Is it better to go with the light line and just force everybody to, you know, play up to the standard that they need to play with to be competitive?
If their cardio's good.
I mean, but
no one gets hurt.
But that's only one way to look at it, and it's certainly a short-term thing, right? You're not developing the other players on your team. You're not giving your guys rest. You're not giving yourself more options. Or is it better to have a larger roster with 8 guys, you know, where you can rotate in a little bit more? Some guys run 10 on the roster.
I'd rather go 8.
I think
you could afford it, sure.
Yeah, I think
10 would be great.
Yeah, I think 8 is a good number, but I think every team is different, right? So some teams can do it with 6, some teams can do it with 8, some teams can do it with 10. Regardless of the number, you just got to find what's successful for your program.
Sure.
For me, I think you're right. I think 8's the number.
Well, Cartel's doing it with 6 at this event, and like you said, no real offense after that move from Hunter, but some offense from the Ninjas, as the Ninjas are a little bit better on the reactions here, pushing into these important front spots, and they're past the 50 in the V, wrap around, really putting pressure here on New Cartel, who's kind of dug in their spots and really not able to stay alive as they've given up these important positions, and now they're getting clipped out of their spots. This is what happens. Keep seeing this time and time again on this layout. If you're not willing to secondary in and beat your opponents to the punch or do battle with them at this 50-yard line with these huge bunkers,
I kind of
then
like
you
it.
gotta you're
It
playing.
forces you, right?
It does.
If you don't try to get up to these 50s and you don't at least, you know, get to the top 4 of this event, you've got to go home and be like, man, we didn't even try to win. We didn't even, you know, like give ourselves an option.
There's drills for that.
Really?
Yes.
What do those drills entail, my friend?
The attack 50 drill.
Put guys. Can we get Catfish on the phone, please?
Yeah, put guys in the 30s or 40s, and you can just, it doesn't even be full field, could be half a field, and You give them a minute, and somebody has to work into the 50s. And if the guy gets in a 50, you have 30 seconds to go bunker him out or shoot him out of there. Or
and then you reset.
Then you got to do push-ups.
Fun. And do it on the hottest day possible, and always play shirts and skins.
Yeah. Crank those guns up.
Yeah, but again, I feel like this field, out of all the fields we've played in the recent amount of time, kind of forces you to make a decision and forces you to execute on that decision one way or another. Then your success is based on that, whether or not you can execute.
Well, yeah, and again, just with this one. So DMG and DBS both getting penalties early that cost them. So I would like a good clean point so we can get a solid assessment of who looks better.
I thought we talked about that earlier.
It's not going to, yeah, I know you told me it's not going to happen. I listen. It's not like I listen to you.
Referees don't put all those flags in their pockets just to walk around with flags in their pockets all day. Looks like it's confetti out there. Here we go. DMG breaking out from the red side. DBS Factory breaking out from the blue. DBS will be looking into the sun. Heads up if you are setting up your fields and you have the option of setting your fields up north and south, you won't have to deal with the sunrise in the morning or the sunset in the evening glaring into people's eyes as they're trying to compete on the paintball field. DMG with good positioning on the drill side of the field, Matt. Kane, Austin now moving into, and gets caught trying to get to that 50. He went in a little high and a little slow, Matty. He should have dove or crawled or, had some vigor getting in there.
If he hit the deck, he'd been fine.
Yeah.
But he went in, must have not felt any pressure, but still, just because you're not feeling pressure doesn't mean that guy's not putting a lane about 6 inches off the spot you're trying to run to.
And he's a bigger kid, right? He's about our size, and when you're our size, you've got to go extra low or extra fast because you just got more mass to pick up.
If you're near or over 6 foot, then
just say adult. If you're adult size,
try not to run high in your spots.
Make it feel like you're running with your chest on the ground. DMG did do a good job of getting out to this corner, Matt, and now filling back up to the drill side even after losing Kane. 4 players alive for DMG. Now secondarying inside, I believe that's Azevedo.
A little bit better field position currently for DBS. They have a body in D3, but Kane was the first to go for SAC DMG. Now SAC DMG is going to filter a body, and they're going to shoot that body out of that D3 position. So great job by DMG. No penalties so far here in this point, at least that I can see.
That's what we're hoping for.
And they have a double dose of bodies for SAC DMG over here towards the X side. So kind of looking for that player in D1, in Brick 1 to start moving up.
Yeah, I believe that's Azevedo, and he's making that move. And he's got the ball, right? He's got to get into this 50. They've already got a guy on the wing on the drill side. They've got a guy on the Y over there as well. So 2 GMG players up on the drill side.
Well, speaking of deep rosters, Rich, DMG has 10 bodies.
10 bodies. I counted them.
10 bodies rostered.
I counted them stretching this morning. I'm like, that's a lot of bodies.
Okay, so guys, just a public service announcement. No team fights with DMG.
Well, yeah, there's 10 on this squad, and then there's 4 more squads.
Yeah, it's their home field. They probably got their buddies here.
Yeah, family and friends are here as well, too. So about 80 deep. And big move, Matty. On the D side.
No one picks him up. Oh, he missed his first attempt, though, Adam. He gets a little 2-pack run through.
Work. But loses his buddy on the other tape. Uh-oh, penalty. Penalty assessed on DMG, and it's a major, Matty.
Oh, Jesus. No penalties.
Sorry, friend. I'm sorry.
Sure enough.
I will signal the referees to please stop calling penalties, but the players have to meet him halfway. I didn't even see the penalty. It looked like a great move from DBS over there on the drill side. I did see him miss the second guy, spin back to shoot that guy.
Yeah.
So maybe when he shot that guy, went to the second guy, that guy spun and shot him. Because obviously the penalty was against DMG.
Yeah, I was a little blocked out from that spot, but that's 3 points in a row now, 3 penalties.
Did you say you were a little blacked out again this morning? Listen.
Not quite yet. No, I was blocked.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so again, going to try to get through this next point with no penalties. Not going to be easy, but if we all work together, that's refs, players, and commentators, we can get through this.
Tie ball game right now is see if New Cartel, Seattle Ninjas, locked at 1.
Yeah, like Hunter, the first game kind of played the back center, just kind of hung out there. I like it better when he gets up into the 50 where he can kind of do some work. Like to see him shoot and release again.
Still, they haven't put that point up in that last point. They're still kind of figuring it out.
They're talking about it. I can't.
Looking down at DBS Factory on the blue side with Hunter, Justin Hunter. using his hand as a visor, that's always a bad sign.
Yeah. Hey, is the other team down there?
Yeah. Are they got 5 out yet?
Are they shooting
yeah,
at me?
Dude, they've had 5 out this whole time. Oh, Jesus. Okay, let's get this. Here.
I can only
I'm
look.
just going to run all the way to 50, man, and hopefully
Yeah.
I make it.
I'm going to have to get real close to him.
So, yeah, still on a little bit of a technical timeout. It looks like the point is going to be approved. Let's see who they give it to. And also, we're in, again, D3 Xball semifinals. Winners will go on to the finals. And then next up, we have Houston Heat playing Seattle Thunder and San Antonio X Factor taking on Seattle Uprising. So Northwest is representing here at this event.
Represent, yeah,
both
that's nice.
Thunder and
That's
Uprising made it, and we're watching a bunch of teams from Northwest playing the T3 semifinals right now.
Well, maybe that's the good thing about this event is that we do get those Northeast teams, you know, that we wouldn't necessarily get in Texas or Florida.
Yeah. Well, that's why we have it set up this way, right? So it's a little bit more affordable for the lower teams to make it.
Yeah, we want to see the new teams. We want to see the new up-and-coming players.
So they did
from all over the country.
They gave that point to DBS Factory.
Yeah, and I think DMG might be starting down a player. I'm not sure. I know they had 2 left, but I'm not sure if the one was hit or not before they pulled him. Cartel breaking out from the blue side. Seattle Ninjas from the red.
On the breakout here is New Cartel going to hold up a little bit and a little bit better field position for the Ninjas, but they lose a body. They get a body into D3, but it's a 4-on-5 situation in favor of New Cartel, even though they're from that glare side of the field, that blue side, looking into the sun as Hunter's going to scurry up, and Rodriguez gets to the 50, but Rodriguez has no idea that Hunter's there, and Hunter gets a free kill. Nice job, Hunter.
Lesson learned from Rodriguez. He's like, ah, man, I should have been watching that gap.
Yeah, and if he was watching that gap, he might have been able to definitely keep Hunter from getting to the position he's currently at. But
well, if he'd have gotten there like 10 seconds earlier, he'd have seen Hunter fill and been set up on that gap, but he didn't see it, so you just have to assume it's the worst case scenario.
So after getting that kill, so it's a 5-on-3 situation now. So big high body situation currently for New Cartel. It's a tie ball game, 6 minutes and 34 seconds left to go.
Nobody on this side of the field for the Seattle Ninjas. Nobody in the X side of the field. It's just the, I believe, back center and the Dorito Tower and the wing on the D side. That's their 3 bodies. Cartel's got 4 across the back. Hunter in the wing on the V side. Looks like the New Cartel player over here in this brick is looking to go forward into the X if he can, Matty. He's wrapping, gunfighting with the tower cross field. Yeah, he switches back inside. Hunter's really probing in that middle, left and right, trying to figure out where he can shut down a lane or where he can go forward, do some offense. And I like, the really good players get to those key positions and switch back and forth from offense to defense based on what the other team does. They just don't play the same way the whole time they're there.
And for Cartel, because they have this high body situation, ideally they want to take as much time as possible to put this point on the board. There's still 5:35 left, so I don't know if they're going to be able to take, say 4 minutes off and put Ninjas in a tough spot. Oh, but as I was going to say, most importantly, they need to stay alive. And player walking off with Cyclops losing a gunfight here, so it's a 4-on-3 situation. Good job by Ninjas to win a gunfight, get this one a little bit closer.
Matt, all 3 Ninjas are looking the same way and have been. Okay, the tower just switched back. Look, again, for about 45 seconds, all Ninjas are looking this way to the X. The wing is looking inside. Both towers looking this way.
Can't get tunnel visioned out here.
No, they've got to have one guy looking D side. Otherwise, they're going to have a hard time.
Yeah, because if somebody recognizes that.
If Hunter figures it out.
Yeah, if you're not feeling any pressure and you head check, okay, no one's looking at me, and then you get a good wrap going on, you're wrapping around your bunker, realize, oh, yeah, everyone's looking the opposite way. Oh, that's how you get 3-packs. That's how you get free 3-packs.
Yeah. Yeah, they're split up again now, much better. But for a second there, they all switch back to the Dorito side as well. Got to work on their zone control a little bit when they get home.
Hunter's been back and forth here, going between the brick. But look at this now is the Ninjas are getting close to the 50-yard line.
I think they caught him
on that D side. Oh, he does get caught, so it's going to be 2-on-4.
Ninja getting out to this cube over here on the snake side. That'll help him. Oh, and he shoots Hunter.
Huge kill. As Hunter does take the walk for Cartel, so Ninja's now pushing the issue. Here comes the counter punch from New Cartel. Major penalty, man. It's been a penalty-ridden morning so far.
Why can't you guys just give Matt 1 point without penalties? That's all he asked for.
Penalty assessed on the Ninjas, and did they have enough bodies to pull?
I don't think
I don't
so.
think they did. Yeah, because I'm just trying to think. I don't think they did.
No.
So that means that's why you don't get majors, man. Because now it looks like they probably are going to be starting with 4 and going to be down a point with 4 minutes left. So not ideal. Making the refs work out here this morning.
Getting those flag hands warmed up. DMG taking the field. Going to get started from the blue side.
And they're down by 1 to DBS Factory.
Yeah, hard to win points when you 2 penalties in 1 point.
So DMG here, this is their home field, and they are the only team in D3 that has made it this far. It's 3 teams from the Northwest and 1 team from Central California. So it could be a Northwest versus Northwest battle for some bragging rights.
Unless DMG can do something about it.
Unless DMG can do something about it in front of the hometown. So DMG, purple jerseys, black pants are going to be on the blue side, looking into that sun. So there's a good look at the glare that these guys are dealing with. See those long shadows out there. So
now imagine looking into that and having paintballs flying at your face.
Yeah, and you can also see the shadows that the ref is creating by that bunker. You can play those shadows. If it comes down to a one-on-one or at any point in time.
If you get close to the guy.
You're aware, if you get close enough to the guy or you got good enough eyesight, good enough angle, you can see which part of the spot that guy's at by playing that shadow. On the breakout, both
DBS
teams
and 5 alive.
Yeah, pretty even, 5 on 5.
Yeah.
No one doing anything crazy. No one going very far.
Kind of that vanilla game plan that everybody's doing.
Yeah, and then it's just the safe game plan. But Sacramento DMG clocks in, locking down a lane on that D side and shoots the body for DBS, moving from D2 to D3.
Yeah, 4 on 5 advantage here for DMG. Nobody really in an offensive position for DMG though, Matty. 4 across the back row and the little cube over here on the snake side or the X side. Both teams communicating. Very close game here. Only 1 point separating 2 teams. So, dude, I don't remember his name. I met him this morning, but the DMG player that just filled that 50, Matty, is the teacher that we gave the shout out to. Yeah, I met him. It was amazing.
That's
super
true.
nice guy.
Yeah, he came out to say what's up too.
You're way better. You're way better at names than I am. Azevedo getting into the X over here for DMG. Now DMG in really good position with 2 players up to the 40 and 50.
Stollard,
yep, that's him.
Paul Stollard, yeah.
Very cool.
Teaches 6th grade, had a viewing party for the webcast and videoed his class when we did him a shout out. It was great, man. It's got to try to get the new generation to understand how awesome paintball is. So Paul's doing his job. So he just made the move into the brick. Is that what you're saying?
Yep, he's in the Dorito brick looking inside.
Yeah, taller guy too. So
yeah, like an adult size guy.
Over 6 foot tall, so he was gonna have some good angles. He can pop the top easily from there.
Azevedo missed that fill. DBS made a big fill from back center into that wing over there on the Dorito side. Azevedo was watching the gap in front of him as he made that fill. DMG now pushing up the D side as well, Matt. DMG with 3 players in attack positions.
Yeah,
DBS with only 1.
Under 5 minutes, right? And DMG knows they need a point to tie, and they're pushing the issue a bit. And they have some time to work with, so they don't need to get completely reckless and aggressive quite yet. But they are putting themselves in. Oh, we just talked about how tall Paul is, and he just did a little jump shot on Hunter, so that's a huge kill.
Yeah, 2 players for each team taking the walk here.
Sorry, that wasn't Hunter.
So quickly goes from a 5 on 5 to a 3 on 3.
Hunter plays for Cartel. That's
Hunter. Okay. There's plenty of Hunters.
He has got long hair too, but not nearly as long.
You're doing an amazing job. It's been a long weekend.
We're
very
trying to figure
tired.
out these new players. Body coming off. Another body coming off for DMG.
DMG pushing up to the 50X over here. Oh, and trades out, come down the tape. So DMG looks like they're going to win this point, Matty, as long as they can not get any penalties.
It's a good game.
Yep, I think they have 1 player left live. I think it's Azevedo. Kind of clock around trying to figure out if he's the last guy live. This is going to tie up this match with, like 3 minutes and 45 seconds or 30 seconds or so. Plenty of time for one of these 2 teams to go out and get a solid point, lock that down.
Yeah, we're going to probably see the same sort of game plan we just saw.
Yep.
Most likely. If somebody's going to risk it, the safe route is that inside and up route to the brick on the D side, which has become, again, kind of the safest offensive option if you want to get into a really good spot. It's a little bit more of a risk, try to push into this X early, but we've seen a lot of teams and players do that too. It's a little less frequent. Seems like going more to that V and then shutting those inside lanes down. Hopefully you beat your opponent there, but with what's at stake here, winner going to the finals, probably going to see a more conservative game plan, but you never know. Because they have enough time to work with. It's going to be a tie game. We could see this be the deciding point.
Yeah, I think you're going to see conservative breakouts and then the race from there to the 50, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now Hunter is in for the new cartel. Been kind of shooting from the center, then filling up from the can over to the X. See if he continues to do so. Ninjas will be playing from the blue side, looking into the sun. Cartel with a little advantage here. Ninjas down by 1. Good break for Cartel. New Cartel, I don't see anybody eliminated. I don't see any eliminated for Ninjas either. So, Ninjas lose their first player. 4-on-5 advantage here as Hunter gets eliminated. 4-on-4.
I was going to say that's tough for the Ninjas because, you know, with 345 going down a body, but then they not only do they kill somebody, they kill Hunter. And if you can get Hunter off the field, it's huge. And they take the brick. So, you know, this is just a pretty solid breakout here right now as they do have some ground. 4-on-4 though still.
I would like to point out that there was no penalties at the last point. No penalties
thank the Lord.
Hopefully we can have more of that going forward. Ninjas crawling up into that from Dorito 1 to Dorito 3 over there and now out to the wing. So Ninjas kind of pushing forward on that Dorito side, Matt.
Yeah, still Ninjas not feeling any pressure at that brick. I mean, he's on his feet, not tucked. I mean, he's just kind of looking like he wants to wrap around and maybe go across. He's going to check back off on that inside lane. And no offense yet on this X side.
No, he can do a good job there, like we've been talking about, of shutting down this whole side of the field for New Cartel. It's very challenging for the New Cartel players to move forward from the corner, from the bricks, into the X with a player in that key position shooting this way. If they get any support from anybody over here, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, and they're going to try to make the move here. Ninjas going into brick 1, trying to go into brick 2. There are 2 bodies for New Cartel on this side, trying to stop player for Ninjas trying to make this move, and they're not able to do it. Gets into brick 2, and he's still playing very proactive in here.
I was just going to say, I love so many guys get in there and just look inside. He immediately gets in there, looks inside, tries to go outside, gets shut down, goes back inside.
Well, what I like is he's doing this with 2:20 left, right? And so he's pushing the issue. He's feeling pressure, but he has no choice because he knows that he's on an island.
I was just going to say, but he does have to play island ball.
But he's also taking a lot of pressure off. I was going to say, he was playing pretty well, though, but I can't really criticize him. 2 minutes left, down by 1, got to try to make something happen. Unfortunately, now they either need to blow the horn or those 2 guys need to just start attacking. Just start attacking. You have 2 minutes to work with, but you're in a really kind of a tough spot here because there's no one on this X side. So as soon as New Cartel figures that out, they should be able to push up here. So that's exactly what the Ninjas are doing.
But the only reason they can push up is because the Ninja guy dropped his zone over here.
Well,
Gates stayed on that cut.
Hey, Gates finally figures it out. And they're going to throw the towel in. So, yeah, as soon as they saw Gates streaking towards the buzzer with no one from the Ninjas looking this way, they conceded the point to preserve the time. So they're going to be down by 2 with 1 minute and 41 seconds left.
Yeah, if the Ninja player would have kept his zone this way, shot Gates, made it so there was only a 2-on-3 advantage, then you give him 30 seconds to try to win that point.
It's tough for the player that was attacking over here. And yeah, you could say, hey, slow it down a little bit.
Wait a minute.
Wait about 30 seconds maybe even, because he was right around that 2-minute mark. But he was taking a lot of pressure for a little bit of time because he was sucking up at least 2 of those last guns.
That's what I was going to say.
That D-side play, the D-side could have got it moving a little bit earlier.
And what he was doing a good job of is he would communicate when he wasn't engaging, but when he would engage, he wouldn't communicate. If he could have engaged and communicated the fact that 2 of those guys were on him, that would have given those guys on the drill side the information they needed to know to go forward and win that point probably, or possibly.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, this one's a little bit different story here. Sac DMG, the only California team here in D3 in the top 4, trying to knock out DBS Factory. DBS Factory trying to take down the hometown boys and move on to the finals right now. And on the breakout, DBS starting from that blue side and very quickly going to be the first to attack, to get into the wedge, going right up into that brick, crawling down, staying low, keeping that pack Low from that beam.
Yep.
Oh, he might have caught one, though. The referee running in there to give him a check. If he's hit, probably going to be a penalty.
Yep.
That's exactly what's going to happen. He's going to get a minor, and that is going to give a big opportunity for Sac DMG. But they
4-on-3.
Yeah, but they drop a body.
Yep, 4-on-3 advantage for DMG. Nobody in an attacking position, though, for DMG. All in a defensive posture across the back line. Here we go. DBS attacking to that key bunker again. And Matt, we talked about this all the time. You know, when that first guy dies out of the key spot, oftentimes it's the second or third guy in that key spot that ends up winning the point.
Yeah.
Right here. Oh, that
careful.
DMG player is lucky if he doesn't get a penalty.
I was going to say, he took a couple. That could have been a penalty. I could see why DBS Factory is complaining about that one.
Yeah. He shot him, leaned back in, and is like, oh, he's still coming. I have to come out and shoot him again.
Yeah. That was more one of those practice trades.
Yeah. No, that's bang, bang. Bang, bang, guys. DMG with 2 in the towers. DBS with 1 in the tower on this side. I believe DBS has another player possibly in the Dorito corner. I'm blocked out by him. But I believe it's either 2-on-2 or 2-on-3 with DMG's advantage. And again, DBS looking right into that sun, so that's going to help DMG out a little bit.
Yeah,
they're up by 1 point here with 2 minutes left.
No, it's tied 2-2.
Okay. Oh, sorry, yeah.
So, but you're right. Definitely gives them an advantage.
There's a player down here for DBS in this small brick.
At the 2-minute mark.
I believe it's 3-on-2 DMG with 1 here attacking in the X, 1 on the tower, and 1 in the Dorito corner. And for DBS, it's the small brick over here, the tower on this side. I don't know if they have anyone on the Dorito side of the field or not. So either 2-on-3 or 3-on-3 here, guys. DMG having the advantage, pushing forward, shooting their guns. DBS playing a little bit of a defensive game here. Oh, DBS eliminated from the tower on this side, Matt. And so is the guy in front of him. And then they towel. Big point there for Sacramento DMG. When Sac doesn't get penalties, they do pretty well. When they get penalties, they struggle. But the points they're not getting penalties, they're doing all right.
Weird how that works out. Yeah, weird how that works out. Yeah, so right now with a 1-point lead and looked about, what, minute 30-ish left on the clock. And the tough thing now is that DMG is going to be on the glare side of the field. So that could give DBS, it is going to give them a slight advantage, trying to score a point to tie with not a lot of time to work with. We'll see if they can make it happen. Different scenario here as the Ninjas are down by 2. And so Cartel just needs to hang on. Hang on, punch the ticket to the finals.
Hang on.
Hold on.
Just hang on.
Hold fast. Yeah, but they will be from the glare side.
Let's see if Ninjas attack.
They have to. No choice.
Doesn't mean they will.
What? Good point.
10 seconds.
And again, evolutionary, you know, if they do attack, where does their attack come from? You know, do they come this way? Do they come that way? Do they try to go through the middle? Do they heavy shoot on the break?
Yeah, have they had to do this yet at this event? I don't know.
We haven't seen them, so we don't know.
So I'm not sure how their road was to get here and if they were up most of the time or if they had to be scrappy.
Well, lost 1, but 2 attackers to the 50. I love that.
Yeah, they get 2 into the X structure, both alive, and I think Rodriguez just got clipped. Yeah, he did. That's going to leave just Johnson in here.
Can't fault them. Had to get up and do some work. They don't need to just score 1. They need to score 2 just to tie. So they had to get up here. They had to take some risks. So far, those risks have not paid off. 3-on-5 here. New Cartel's locking it down, just playing defensively. They have to burn off 1 minute and 9 seconds. Looks like they lose their first player. He leaves. 4-on-3 advantage for the New Cartel.
Under a minute to go, needing to. I don't think the Ninjas are going to have enough.
Not enough for 2.
They might score this one.
I don't think they're going to get
I don't think they might even get this one.
3-on-4. Referee checking him.
Johnson repositions outside wide, and they lose their body on that D side, and they lose Johnson.
1-on-4, Matty. Cartel's going to the finals.
Yeah, Cartel just a matter of 34 seconds, it looks like, before. I don't know if it's going to end right here, but yeah, 2 points for the Ninjas. It's still, what, one body left alive?
Yeah,
is it a
1-on-3, I believe.
Is there a body in the back corner?
Back center.
Back
this
center
corner.
for sure in this corner. So at least a 2-on-1.
Yep, with less than 15 seconds left. And I love, you know, obviously that the Ninja guys just up here wheeling and dealing, trying to gunfight 3 guys because he really doesn't have any choice. We've seen a lot of guys, though, in this situation just sit in the back and let the time run out. Good job, Ninjas, for trying to get that point. Good event, boys.
Yeah, hey, at least the Ninjas died on their swords.
Yep.
They went out attacking, and but congratulations to New Cartel in a pretty low-scoring game here, 3-1. But they are going to be moving on into the D3 finals.
That didn't do that yesterday.
You're right. We did a couple times, actually.
So good job, Ninjas.
Yeah.
Well, you don't get a name like Ninjas without taking some risks at the end of the game.
Yeah, and they were even down by 2, so those guys could have just sat there. No, there's impossible.
Guys,
There's 15 seconds.
I have an excuse.
15.
I have an excuse on why I didn't do it. Just so you know, I have an excuse.
You got to play the game the way it's supposed to be played, and they did. Unfortunately, top 4 though. Top 4 not bad.
Man, great job. I find it hard to believe there was not more California D3 teams for this event. I mean, when I go to the events around here, it seems like there's a lot of D3 teams. Only one made it forward, though, and it's DMG.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, there's a lot of paintball to be played throughout the year, and talking to everyone, this seems to be that time of the year where everyone's family vacation, marriages,
it's
weddings.
tough.
This is kind of a hard time of year to get a full roster to an event.
Well, and it's going to be a hot event if it's a California one, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So if you have to miss one.
This is one of those only for the toughest and most dedicated, right?
This is only if you're dedicated to working your program, and that's why I like to see teams like the Saints come in, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because you're building your team. Take this opportunity to build that team.
Made it in
DBS losing 2, Maddie.
Yeah, and and now another one too. It's not looking good for him. Sac DMG trying to move on into the finals. They got to burn off another minute and 14 seconds left to hold off this last push from DBS. But DMG going to be losing their wide body on the D side. They filter another body out there. It looks like he makes it clean.
4-on-3 advantage for DMG, up by 1 point, inside 60, Maddie. Looks like we're going to see.
And this is a different scenario, right? Because they just need 1 to tie.
Yeah,
so, a penalty, you never know what's going to happen out here. But
also a different scenario in the fact that the 2 guys in the back for DBS are not attacking.
Yeah, they're just not in a position to do so here. And then their argument might be, well, I was feeling so much pressure, so who cares?
Yeah.
Put a guy in and make a move, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna
at least give yourself a chance to win. Once out of every 100 times, it works.
Okay. Well, they tried to get some forward progression to the wedge, but he gets taken out.
He looked a little uncomfortable going forward there. So 4-on-1 advantage here now for DMG.
They lose another one. I think it's just down to this very last player here for DBS. He's at the brick and facing 4 players for DMG, and then that is it. So
DMG Cartel Finals.
DMG scanning the field, see if there's any bodies left. There are not, as time expires. So Sacramento DMG versus New Cartel in the D3 final matchup.
Yeehaw.
Which is going to be going down at 10 o'clock. But do not go anywhere as the battle here in the quarterfinals for the professional division. It's going to be Houston Heat and Seattle Thunder and San Antonio X Factor and Seattle Uprising.
Very excited.
Here at the 2022 NXL Golden State Open. I'm Matty Marshall with Rich Telford here on Go Sports. We'll be back.
King time on 1, 2, 3. King time! If you're worried if somebody's got the trap, call and find out if the trap's there.
That's a full team effort. All 9 guys
full
on the fucking
team
roster.
effort. It's an easy game if you're doing it with your brother.
2-on-5 situation.
Let's go, Heat. One side ticket.
It's hard, but we're doing it together.
To what would you give each moment in a day if you knew that you only get 4 unique and different days to shine? It is such an arbitrary number, 4 to be sure. But the parameters are set. You know the day of your execution or of your deliverance. This is a trial by combat. It's a day to define you, a day to test you, a day where all the torturous hours of training come together, where it's you, your gun, your preparation, your teammates and your tenacity, on display, dissected by your enemies, with your skill, your will to win, weighed and measured. It is your chance to prove to the world that in this small slice of place and time, that you above all others are to be remembered, to be respected. In the sport of paintball, it will come down to Sunday, the holy day, where you get to earn your place in the game. And in 2021, you get 4 of these. So This is the story of many moments, but of 1 year of what happens in 4 Sundays.
Hard, they have to, they know it, right? Smart fucking people.
Malice is just saving the day again, and Malice gets the crossfield shot as well.
Guys couldn't make the corner like I was as consistent.
They get Konstantin Fedorov back. They have Todd Martinez as the coach. Randy Smith is intent on building a championship team.
I got the chills, and I was like, we're going to win this tournament.
Pressure's all on them because they're #1 team. We're the 20th place team.
Level undefeated, the #1 seed in their division.
They have everything to lose, and we have nothing to lose.
No one can touch Dynasty here. That was a complete masterclass.
You go to bed dreaming you get to play Impact on Sunday and send them home. Then you dream you get to play Houston Heat. Who's the other Titan? Dynasty. There's no better feeling than going up against the big Titans.
I feel like there's always been a general culture of, oh, they're just women, you know. I don't think a lot of people take women seriously when they play against them. They certainly feel bothered when they get shot by women. We have the stage now to show that we can play, but not just that we can play, but that we can play well.
I've heard the word surreal being used a lot, and that's really true. I don't think anybody ever expected anything like this to happen. It wasn't something that we asked for. I think it was something that we didn't realize we were missing it until we had it.
The reason that WNXL is important to have is because it creates a community that simply welcomes more women to the sport in general.
To be able to go on the field and compete against your actual friends and your sisters, and then come off the field and be friends off the field is a huge thing.
I've been in paintball for as long as I can remember. My dad's been doing paintball for 30 years and I've been playing for 8. So I think it's great that we get to have this opportunity to have a voice out there finally and be able to show all these guys what we can do on the field.
They have accelerated their rate of learning and being taught by some of the paintball's greats, like Dave Baines from Sacramento Diamonds, like Todd Adamson from Femme Fatale, my own husband, Mike Paxson, who's representing Destiny. There's so many people that love helping others, especially the female kind. And I think it's really important for us as leaders of these women to show them that they're capable. Not that we have to cater, but that we can give them the tools necessary so they can compete on an equal playing field. If we give them the platform and we give them the tools, these female kind can play just like the male kind.
For the girls that want to be taken more seriously in paintball, to really challenge yourself, to really go out on the local field and don't be afraid to ask questions, don't be afraid to just meet friends and get on the field and play as much as possible.
I really want girls, not just paintballers, but girls around the world to know that this is a fun sport, this is something we do belong in. No sport is just a man's sport, you know, we can do anything that they do. We're not afraid to get dirty, and we're not afraid to get down and bunker some fools.
For them to showcase women in paintball is super important. The WNXL is still a brand new league, and obviously we're super excited to be a part of it and be a part of a new history, but we're also looking forward to the next generation of girls.
It makes me so happy to see that there's so many people that are behind this women's division. For those of us that have been doing this paintball thing for a long time, we owe it to our community to pass the torch. And I guarantee you that everybody in the long run is going to be thankful for it. It's only going to help everybody in the bigger picture at the end of the day.
Just fight it up.
Sometimes Travis empty out the center just to lock on the snake or locked on the Doritos. I like going up there and having no job. I can go back and forth, D-side or snake side, peel off the loader if I need to. If he matches me, I go put him in the dirt. Sometimes you get it because you're up there, but every time you can count on me to be in that center. There's a lot of guys that are much older and much more experienced on this team that just give you all the info. For me, coming from the last team that I was on, it's a lot easier because I just do my one job and everyone behind me I can just count on them to do what they got to do. This is Ryan Rodarte, aka Dart, and you can catch me coming through the center for aliens.
I'm the role player. If we need a wide snake, if we need a wide D's, wherever we're having trouble on the field, that's where they send me because they know I can get the job done. You can put as much paint as you want on me after I'm out. It's never gonna get in my head, and I'm never gonna be scared. My name is Patrick Kraft, and I play for New York Extreme.
The reason I'm on the field is because I don't die. I communicate, I shoot people off the break, shoot people at the end of the game. I grew up playing the snake. I can attack, I can stay safe, but my role is to not die and communicate. Trailer, play for Baltimore Revo.
I love to be aggressive. I love to really get down on the 50s. I want everybody to know that I'm coming for them and that I'm not going to stop, and it doesn't matter what the score is, but I'm going to be on their side of the field stuffing in their ear. Roberts, and I play for San Antonio Xball.
King time on 1, 2, 3. King time! If you're worried if somebody's got the trap, call and find out if the trap's there.
That's a full team effort. All 9 guys
full
on the fucking
team
roster.
effort. It's an easy game if you're doing it with your brother.
2-on-5 situation.
Let's go, Heat. One side ticket.
It's hard, but we're doing it together.
To what would you give each moment in a day if you knew that you only get 4 unique and different days to shine? It is such an arbitrary number, 4, to be sure. But the parameters are set. You know the day of your execution or of your deliverance. This is a trial by combat. It's a day to define you, a day to test you, a day where all the torturous hours of training come together, where it's you, your gun, your preparation, your teammates, and your tenacity on display, dissected by your enemies, with your skill, your will to win, weighed and measured. It is your chance to prove to the world that in this small slice of place and time, that you above all others are to be remembered, to be respected. In the sport of paintball, it will come down to Sunday, the holy day, where you get to earn your place in the game. And in 2021, you get 4 of these. So this is the story of many moments, but of 1 year of what happens on 4 Sundays.
Hard, they have to, they know it, right? Smart fucking paintball.
Malice is just saving the day again, and Malice gets the crossfield shot as well.
Guys couldn't make the corner like I was as consistent.
They get Konstantin Fedorov back. They have Todd Martinez as the coach. Randy Smith is intent on building a championship team.
I got the chills, and I was like, we're going to win this tournament.
Pressure's all on them because they're #1 team. We're the 20th place team.
Level undefeated, the #1 seed in their division.
They have everything to lose, and we have nothing to lose.
No one can touch Dynasty here. That was a complete masterclass.
You go to bed dreaming you get to play Impact on Sunday and send them home. Then you dream you get to play Houston Heat. Who's the other Titan? Dynasty. There's no better feeling than going up against the big Titans.
Yeah. 30. Welcome back here, 2022 NXL Golden State Open. We're in the quarterfinals with Houston Heat taking on Thunder and San Antonio X Factor taking on Uprising. I'm Matty Marshall. Up at the Rich Telford, Houston Heat going to be in the red jerseys on the red side of the field, and Seattle Thunder, man, making another Sunday.
Good job, boys.
With the merger of the Bears and the OG Thunder players, the Brooklyn Bears, and it's been working for them, you know, and they're with this new mixture. We'll see if they can take down legends in Houston Heat, though. Body coming off early. What a great kill for Thunder.
Great start, yeah, taking out Chad George. That was huge.
Here comes San Monville. So aggressive push early as they get San Monville out, as Thunder has taken both bricks, and then they're going to shoot out Ryan Moorhead as well. 3 bodies have come off here for Houston Heat. But Houston Heat still has Tyler Harmon out there, and
if Thunder can play 7 points like at this level, where they beat them to the survive the break or win the breakout, beat them to the 50s, then Thunder has a really, really good chance to beat Heat here. It's just so hard to do this against a team like Heat for more than 1 or 2 points.
Yeah, and when you're Thunder, it looks like Todd has seen enough. Todd is just going to concede it here, as maybe did that body maybe
5-on-2, right?
It was 5-on-2, but I don't know. Maybe Todd saw Ronnie die. Yeah. Not sure. It looked like Ronnie and Tyler was still alive in a 5-on-2. It's still a big ask, even with how good Ronnie's playing over there. Because, Ronnie typically, and got Paintball Famous, typically known and Paintball Famous by being a hyper-aggressive first attacker. But he is showing quite a bit of diversity in his skill set.
He's got some depth now.
Out there this weekend, because he's been using his wheels to get out wide and then playing smart over there behind Ryan Moorhead for the most part. Todd's spinning some different players out there, getting his roster in the mix, but real good first point here for Thunder as they take a slight lead. So Heat's going to have to reset. Now, X Factor started off the year missing 2 Sundays, but they went deep at the last event and then making another Sunday here and looking pretty tight, looking pretty solid, looking pretty dialed.
Really big bite over there on the Dorito side by LJ Parrish, who's angry with us, Matt.
Is he? What's he angry now?
I think we called him Cody once, or we called Cody LJ once. He's pretty upset. I mean, they are both wearing the same frames, which is the only thing we could see. But yeah, thank you for your criticism, LJ. Greatly appreciate it. X Factor, both teams 5 alive, both teams good position. One player up on that D side for both teams. Bill Bernaccia over here on the Snake side for X Factor, trying to figure out how to get into that X bunker in front of him.
I talked to the Uprising, a couple of the Uprising guys about, I think they're playing this field well.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're here on Sunday.
Gotta do something right.
Uprising is a team that does typically play better later on in the season than they do in the beginning of the season. But they're in good positions as they have the brick, and they also quickly matched the move for Parrish, but Parrish has been alive over there with that big bite he took off the break, and he's in clean. Colt Roberts going to get right behind him. Love that combo of Parrish and Roberts. It's been working really well for him.
That's a scary one, too.
Yeah, and Bayless has got a couple spins as it's been hot out here this weekend. Oh, body coming off. Is that Olsen taking the walk? Yeah, and Uprising is missing a couple bodies. They don't have Tucker. Tommy Tucker's one of their main starters, and then Ormrod as well, too.
Two super solid guys for that crew.
Yeah, playing different positions. As Tucker is the attacker, Ormrod more of a 3 or 2, but he's had some good performances for him. So,
well, both of those guys kind of help run the team too, right? So it must be tough not having them here, but obviously they're doing well. They're here on Sunday playing against one of the best teams in the world. Billy Bernaccia is trying to figure out how to go forward, Matty. He's got that key bunker on the Dorito side of the field, shooting across the gap, trying to keep him from going. There's also a guy in the tower trying to keep him from going occasionally. Oh, LJ goes forward, clears out that side. Billy Bernaccia feels it and makes the move.
Still Borromeo over there, though, and Colt Roberts is going to trade out with Borromeo, so that side is completely blown open.
4 bodies walking,
both
Matty.
teams. I think there still is a body for X Factor in the back corner.
Yep, it's 3 on 2.
Yeah, a little blocked out from that spot. But yeah, Billy Bernaccia in a good position here. He's in the X structure outside wide.
Good player behind him in the tower. So similar field position over here in the sense that both teams have a player in the tower. Billy Bernaccia now in the 50X. Advantage for him. He's got a player 2 bunkers ahead of him, but that player's looking inside. So Billy's able to move forward now. Only 1 bunker ahead of him. Now he's going to wrap and put pressure on this guy in front of him. He's got to watch out. Billy's got a nasty little snapshot. Great fill to the corner. I think that's Meter over there supporting Billy.
Yeah, I think this is Creek in here, gunfighting with Billy. Yeah. Creek's going to put him in and then establish the lane here, left-handed against Billy. Billy forcing Billy to tuck inside wide and make sure he doesn't get run from that inside route.
Yeah, the ball is really on the X Factor player that's on the Dorito side of the field right now.
So Billy did look the proper way. James went the proper way, and they trade out.
Yeah, but Creek couldn't afford to trade that out there, Matty, because he was down by a body. They were already in a 2-on-3.
And then they lose Graham Arnold because TJ Danner's still alive on that D side. So nice play here for San Antonio X Factor, and able to take this first one in a pretty close point, though. So
TJ dropping the hammer eventually over there, but could have done it much, much sooner in that 3-on-2 situation with 2 players isolated on this side of the field.
Aggressive moves from Parrish and Colt pushing the issue, trading out with the bodies in front of them. They kept that 1 body alive back there. TJ Danner, the safety valve.
And there's 2 styles of play, right? Like we've been talking about. Some of those 2s, when those 2 guys clear out that side, immediately go up there and close that game out. Some of the 2s sit in the back and kind of play a longer, slower, methodical game. And that's why those 2 positions are so tough, because there's so many different ways to play them.
So Houston Heat coming back out, and these teams switching sides. Thunder with a 1-point lead.
Heat looking into the sun.
Looks like Chad Boucher. Yeah, the glare is still a bit of an issue, not nearly as bad as it was in the last set.
I was going to say, Thunder perfectly illustrated for us that last point why you take those key positions. They got the positions first and shot 3 of the best players in the world on their transitions just because they beat them to the spot. Well, they didn't beat them in a gunfight.
This time, Thunder is going to be losing a body themselves off the break, so it's a 4-on-5 situation in favor of Houston Heat as Chad George crawls up to the brick, trying to shut that inside lane down.
Yeah, I love these positions that you can just get to early and control the whole side of the field. It makes your 1 like a 3, but from the 50.
Yeah, it's we need you to do zone control here.
Zone control. Bring a lot of paint, shoot a lot of paint through these pumps. Houston Heat doing a great job of getting to the 2 key positions on this field. They do it a little differently. They get into the X first and then secondary into the Y. Most teams are getting to the Y first and secondary into the X. Regardless, they're both in the positions that they need to be. Those 2 players now for Houston Heat control the whole field. They have 3 players behind them supporting them, which is going to make it very, very hard for Seattle Thunder to move forward into the positions they need to get to eliminate these players.
Heat in very dominant positions with both bricks. Crossing it up, Chad George being a little bit more proactive. Chad Boucher is really looking out, making sure that no one gets in there with Chad George.
Yeah, well, and Chad George has really good shots from both sides of his bunker. Chad's shots on the inside are amazing, and they're not great on the outside, so that's probably why he's staying over here so much. Chad moving outside, repositioning, trying to figure out how to get a kill on that tower, and he blows the tower's face off. Tower player taking a walk there for Thunder, had no idea Chad had transitioned back out there.
5-on-3 in favor of Houston Heat.
A little bit of a bad death for that player there.
Interesting that both these teams looking good from the glare side of the field.
Yeah. Apparently it's better when you can't see. 3 players now for Houston Heat on or past the 50. Uh-oh, we got a player being eliminated, but no penalty over that. That's interesting. Found a pack hit.
Ryan Moorhead coming off for Houston Heat, 4-on-3.
Chad George in that key 50 now. Pretty sure there's no one in front of him, but wants to be cautious. Takes a second just to see the lines of paint, where they're coming from, get an idea. So he can put some pressure back. Chad now up on his feet, trying to put some pressure in front of George. George is working on that Dorito corner, which we know is very vulnerable. Tyler Harmon now moving up behind Chad, supporting him on that shot. Now releasing and going inside. Referee coming in to get a check, Matty.
Looks like he's clean.
Yep.
And now Chad's going to crawl past the 50 as Tyler takes over the brick. They're trying to shoot the bounce shot on Chad George right now, but it's missing a little inside.
I was going to say they should save their paint because that's coming nowhere near him.
Yeah, that bounce shot has worked a couple times.
1 or 2 times
this
for the whole
weekend,
weekend.
But typically it's bouncing a little, unless the player has to be way back off of that spot.
The player has to push himself into that spot.
Or in a transition,
yeah.
As he's tactically retreating to get back, but.
Ref coming in, checking Chad George, looks like he's okay. Chad now up on his feet on the opposite tape, looking outside, switching back in. Tyler playing right behind Chad George. Really good zone control from the 3 or 4 players for Houston Heat in these key positions. Putting a lot of pressure on the Seattle Thunder guys. Taking a lot of time in this. Is it a 4-on-2, Matt?
I believe so.
Yeah.
There's definitely the back corner bunker for Uprising.
And this,
for Thunder.
And this brick over here.
And the brick, yeah.
I just can't see if there's anyone at home or not. If not, you think they would crack this a little bit sooner.
It is. That bunker is moving a little bit. Okay, I'm blocked out from that spot too. Yeah, I think there is somebody in that.
Yeah.
I think it's a 3-on-4.
Okay. That makes sense to me. Yeah, back center gets illuminated. Corey Field taking the walk, Matty.
Yeah, it was a 3-on-4.
Yeah,
now,
so
now it's the 2-on-4.
Yeah. So now they'll put pressure on the 5 or the guy in the Dorito corner. Often some teams label the field 1 through 5 across the back line, going from the snake side to the Dorito side. Oh, kind of a crazy move there from the Thunder player. But in a 2-on-4, you kind of expect that.
Yeah, I mean, 2-on-4, you have to get creative, because if you just play that standard traditional, cross it up and never look the other way, you eventually are going to get bunkered out when you're playing really good players, or clipped.
Oh, and the player from Thunder in the Dorito corner is eliminated, so it's now 4-on-1, Matt. Houston Heat's going to win this point, tie this match up with about 10 minutes left.
A little bit of a longer point in this one. The first one went pretty fast, so got to give it to Thunder for digging in a little bit, and making Houston Heat work for it. But they only shot Ryan Moorhead, and that was it. So 4 bodies left alive for Houston Heat. But this isn't 10-man. You don't get points for live bodies, but it just goes to show you how well that Houston Heat was able. Yeah, it feels good. And yeah, just how well did you play the point? Yeah, we call that the perfect point. You shoot all 5 players and no one gets shot. And yeah, you don't get anything extra for that, but definitely some confidence as you head back into the pits to get ready to play the next one. So Houston Heat's got to be feeling pretty good right now as the game is tied, and they did have those 4 bodies alive.
Yeah, because we're all trying to make big points and big moves out here, but really what we're trying to do is not make a lot of mistakes. And if you're finishing your points with 4 or 5 bodies alive, your squad's not making a lot of mistakes.
Talking about big moves, courtesy of McClenny, Mosley, and Associates, a law firm specializing in property claims against insurance companies, negotiation, and settlement. $1,000 at stake for best move of the day.
Did Chavez get the prelims?
Yeah, Chavez.
Good job. Congratulations,
Chavez.
Chavez.
Chavez from PB Fit, who, well, kind of collectively after talking to people about different moves, I feel like that was the best one. So he's going to get $500 and
nice.
$1,000 at stake today. We haven't really seen anything crazy yet in that first you know, first match and first couple points here, nothing. It's just been some solid paintball. So
because we just started doing this, it's gonna, you know, paintball's a little slow. It's gonna take us a while. I think in Chicago, people will be constantly coming up to you. Matt, did you see my move?
It's already happening.
Did I get? Okay. Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of
Rich,
that.
That already happened.
Let me just make this clear.
All day yesterday.
Yeah, I am not in that decision-making process. Please don't talk to me.
You are definitely
I am
in
not.
it.
Yeah,
I need
it's
your
all
input.
Matt.
You're up here watching all these.
Creek, 50.
Yeah, Creek's been doing this really well all tournament long, man. It's either sneaking in here or getting in here early and then playing well when he's in this X. James Creek for Seattle Uprising on the red side beats San Antonio X Factor in here, but X Factor was able to get to that wedge in the V a little early.
I think that's Rainey.
And then Uprising going to get another body out to the 40-yard line, outside wide D side.
Bill Bernacci over here on the snake side or X side for X Factor, looking to go forward. Crete sees the move on the, running referee, just repositioning himself.
It's either Knight or Pankoff over there in that spot. Referee's checking him out right now. And he's clean. No, he's not. Ilya getting taken out and drawing a penalty. Or was that Knight? Knight's number 8. I can't quite see from here. Regardless, penalty assessed here on Uprising. James Creek forced to do a little tactical retreat.
X Factor player taking a walk over there.
And then Creek gets pinched out. It's the penalty costing Uprising here as X Factor making the most of it. They get Bernacci up. That was Rainey, who was at the wedge early. Colt Roberts alive on the D side. And that's just a tough one here for Uprising. Is X Factor going to go up by 2? Squandering that. They were in a good position over there, but drawing the penalty. So they still have some time to work with, though, to get back in this match.
Plenty of time.
And this one a little bit different. Tied at 1. Seattle Thunder not getting off to a really good start in that last one. Yeah, taking enough ground early.
So we've been talking about this all weekend. I believe Houston Heat is one of those teams that if you don't beat them to the 50, you're not going to win a lot of points against them. You might win 30% of your points if you don't beat them to the 50. Some of the other teams, like a Thunder team, you can kind of usually take your time and kind of get up there eventually because they're not putting as much pressure on you. But Heat puts so much pressure on people that if you allow them to get to those key spots, Ryan Moorhead getting to Dorito 3, looking around for referee, though. Getting a check now.
Gleason with the big move all the way into the brick here. Referee's going to come in and give him a glance.
Good job,
referee is
Patty.
scouring over Ryan Moorhead and looks like he's good to go. So 5-on-5 break, I think. Actually, no, Houston Heat losing Chad George. They might be losing Ryan. No, on a third check over there. Looks like Ryan is still clean. So it's a 4-on-5 here in favor of Seattle Thunder, and Thunder has some good ground. Now they need to get it going on that D side, though, because Ryan has much better field position than they do over there, even though Heat is down a body.
Patty Gleason repositioning from the inside defensive cut to the outside offensive cut, Matty. Going right to the 50, which I love. He's going to look inside, and Chad, he catches Chad in the pack there. I don't think Chad had any idea he was there.
He had no clue. So nice kill for Patty Gleason.
Ryan, go ahead.
A good read and react from Ryan Moorhead, right?
100%, man.
So I think he might have saw Chad die because from that spot, I mean, it's not the best angle for him. It's kind of like a blind shot right around the edge of that brick.
And I saw exactly what you saw. I was like, is Ryan going to be able to pick up this side, or is Patty going to pick up Ryan? And Ryan picked it up first, man.
And again, that's not really a free kill because he doesn't have the biggest zone to shoot
No, for
through
sure.
there.
We've seen guys live in that spot from that spot just by leaning in. We saw Keith DeWitt do it, and he's not a tiny guy. This point slowed down a little bit here. Still 1-1. Lots of time left.
Well, Thunder has worked their way into position into D3. So it's mirrored up with Ryan, but Ryan's shooting inside, putting some pressure here towards the bricks that no one's in, but he's keeping them out of there for now. Whereas Thunder's player over there, I think that's Altamore, he's been wrapping around, playing that sideline a little bit more. Dizon is behind Ryan, but he's at the tower. He's not outside wide yet, so that's going to give Altamore a little bit more freedom to wrap that side. Those bunkers are just essentially mirrored up. The back cans are mirrored up, and then all the Doritos are in a row, and then the little mini walls are all in a row too, but they're outside wide.
Yeah, when you walk that field and you get to that Dorito and you look outside, there's just a long cascade of Doritos. You're like, oh,
it's the long tunnel.
It's like a funnel over here. Ronnie taking the walk now for Houston Heat. Houston Heat down to just 2 players left alive, Matty.
Yeah, and I think Tyler might have got clipped too. No, maybe got bounced. Oh, wow, is Tal gonna get thrown in by Thunder? I think because Ryan Moorhead just went off. Interesting though.
No,
because
I think Houston Heat threw the towel.
Did it?
It was a 3-on-2.
Okay. It was a 3-on-2, but Tyler looked like he was still alive. And okay, I think maybe then Ryan ended up getting shot.
Maybe.
It looked for a second because there were still 4 bodies left alive for Thunder, but a couple of them came off looking a little confused.
But they started cheering at the end, so I'm pretty sure.
So that's always a good sign.
Yeah. Either they won it or they thought they won it. In this match, Uprising needs some offense, and they need it early. They need to get up to those 50s, because if X Factor can get out to the outsides and just sit on that 2-point lead, it's going to be really, really tough.
Yeah, I do agree. X Factor looking pretty solid.
X Factor breaking up from the red side of the field. Billy Bernacci going to the corner.
Parrish all the way into that spot. And Parrish has been doing a really good job of taking a ton of ground, going to that 40 off the break. They do lose a body, though.
Yeah, Meter gets caught in the arm, going to the tower on the break.
No one early, taking the walk for Uprising, so it's a 5-on-4.
And good field position for Uprising over on the D side. A little bit short here on the Snake side, or X side. Uprising up into the key position on the D side. Now Crete making a second move over here on Snake side, trying to get in position to that X.
He's varied his moves, too.
I like that
routes. Borromeo, though, taking the walk from that brick.
Early. It's such a, so if you're taking a walk from that brick early, you're working too hard, right? Because you're not just zoning up and stopping Billy Bernacci from going forward. You're trying to be proactive and shoot people. And that's not a spot where I want a proactive guy. That's where I want a really disciplined guy who's just going to be like, listen, they're never, ever going to go down that side of the field. If you protect me, they're never going to go down that side of the field, because that way you can build the game plan really easily.
Well, with Borromeo not in that spot looking inside, as another body comes off for Uprising from the back corner.
Billy had check-in, looking down the line, trying to find out where Creed is in front of him. He knows he's there, but not sure where.
I think that's Pankoff again. He's going to need to tighten it up. Rips his barrel off, and he got a penalty. But I think it was him that got the penalty. So
Creed taking a bounce down on the wrist, getting checked by the ref. X Factor playing him, screaming. He shot him. Creed's doing everything he can, but he's going to get smoked up in the pack right now by Billy. Oh, really good reflexes there by Creed. Oh, Creed goes over the top. Might have got Billy. No, Billy's okay. Slides inside. Creed coming over the top. Creed could have got him. No one's protecting Billy now. Oh, TJ switches over as I say that.
We just saw the same exact battle in a previous point where Billy tried to get the drop on him. Creek beat him back in left-handed. Then Creek ran the inside route when Billy was looking that way. Billy is looking inside now, trying to get that crossfield shot.
Yeah, TJ keeps dropping his gun to communicate with the X Factors players on the Dorito side. I don't think I can hear him, but he keeps doing that. And every time he does that, Creed has an opportunity to go get Billy alive and take that huge position. I'd like to see TJ have a little bit more discipline there. Oh, not going to matter.
Olsen taking the walk from the back, and then Creek shoots Billy Bernacci, though. Huge kill for James Creek.
I think it came from D1, Matty.
Oh, but then he gets taken out, I believe, by either Colt or LJ, and then we're going to see another concession with just Graham Arnold left alive. Parrish catches a hot one from one of his own guys. It didn't matter, though. But, yeah, 3 points in a row. A couple of them been close. It's just X Factor a little bit better right now.
Yep.
Yeah, just too many early deaths for Uprising. You know, they're just losing a body here, body there. A little bit mistakes. They lose Borromeo early.
Yeah, they take
they Pankoff back out there.
They took the real estate and just didn't execute once they got up there.
Yeah.
They took the big risk and didn't get the reward.
And just and X Factor's just a little bit better out of their bunkers right now.
Yep.
They're just winning a couple extra gunfights, and that's been the big difference, giving them the advantage. And love how what we're seeing out of Parrish over there.
Well, and if you can take a spot on the field and keep a player like Billy Bernacci from getting to a key bunker, there's not much bigger priorities on the field than that. So when you're in that spot, your number one priority should keep X Factor's best offensive guy from getting to the most offensive bunker on his side of the field.
Ryan Moorhead going all the way to D3 here.
Shad gets shot again. Shad gets shot again on the break, Matty.
Thunder doing a real good job of sweet spotting out Chad George off the break here from this X side of the field.
Oh, but two players taking a walk for Thunder. I'm not sure if I don't see any penalties, so they might have both been shot. Corey Field almost never getting shot early in the game, a point like that.
They do scurry a body out wide here on the X side, but it is a 4-on-3 situation in favor of Houston Heat. Thunder with a 1 point lead, though, with 7:10 to go.
Yeah, and Houston Heat in good position with Ryan Moorhead in that Dorito 3. Tyler Harmon in the tower over here. Ronnie Dizon in the tower on the D side. Thunder with X corner, Dorito 1, Dorito tower. I cannot see the fourth player for Houston Heat. I believe he's in the back center. Yeah, I think he's in the back center. So 3 in the back kind of for Houston Heat. 1 attacker with Ryan Moorhead, Dorito 3. Plenty of time left in this match, especially for Houston Heat. 6 minutes, 45 seconds. Only down by 1 point. Need to figure out how to get into the 50s, Tyler's in a tough position over here because he's got to play island ball, right?
Yep.
Can't go and be too aggressive because he gets caught by the cross tower making those transitions, then there'll be nobody on this side of the field for Houston Heat.
It puts a little bit more pressure on Ryan Moorhead as he does have Dizon behind him, and then now, well, Chad's going to move up here, so
like that move from Chad.
Tyler is no longer on an island as Chad Boucher makes a nice inside and out move into the brick, and then here comes Ryan Moorhead pushing the issue. He gets to the 50-yard line, so Houston Heat with a couple nice secondary moves to take position, knowing they need a point to tie. They do have a lot of time to work with. Don't have to get crazy quite yet.
Patty Gleason getting shot out of the corner there from Ryan Moorhead on the cross. Only 2 players left alive for Thunder, the tower and the can on the Dorito side. Houston Heat with 4 bodies. Tyler Harmon telling Chad where to shoot. Dialing that gun in form. It's like ranging. 30 degrees up angle. Oh, Ronnie Dizon filling in quickly from the back line. Tyler, though, we got some sharks out there now, Matty.
Yeah,
they know exactly what the count is. They know exactly what the bodies are.
They're moving like they know all the variables here. As there goes another body and a penalty assessed.
I like that. I like that too when you see that team switch transition from playing smart ball to, oh, it's time to have fun, boys. It's time to have fun.
Yeah.
No, that's my kill. Get out of the way.
Well, body language tells you so much when you watch a lot of paintball, and when you see guys sharking down the field like that, with no care in the world to angles where there could be enemies, that's because they know where everyone is. They know the count. They know which way the people are shooting. Because it's one thing to know where those bodies are. It's another thing to know which way they're shooting.
Yep. And know the field well enough to know where you can go and they can't shoot you.
So, yeah, Houston Heat tying it up, 2-2 game. See if Uprising can do something here against X Factor. I mean, we've had some close points, but like we were breaking it down before, X Factor is just better out of their bunkers right now. They're
so if
losing
Matt
less
Marshall
bodies.
was coaching Uprising, down by 3, what would be the little nugget that you'd be like, listen, we're going to go play this point. We have to win this point. In order to win the best chance to give us this point, what do we do?
I think they have to get a body into that brick in the V. They need to stay alive, man. I mean, and stop getting penalties. I think it's Pankoff. He's had a little bit of a rough game out here and died early, and so they need, and they're gonna, yeah. See, sure,
they dropped 2 on the break.
Same situation. So
4-on-3 advantage here for X Factor again.
X Factor looking pretty dominant right now. They should, with 5-on-3 situation, easily be able to get Parrish up there.
Parrish going to the 50 now. I hope that's Parrish and not Cody Bayless. There's a long ways.
They're both about the same height, but
this is what Cody tells me. Hey, we're all wearing exactly the same thing except for I have red on my headband. And I'm like, and you're criticizing us for not being able to see that across the field.
They're both fast.
Same
Parrish
goggles.
is a little skinnier than Cody. Cody's got a little bit more of a barrel chest.
Well,
but,
and if you might not be able to see it from here, but LJ's head's a little bit bigger too, apparently.
That's for sure Parrish, I think. No, it's definitely Parrish. 7 minutes to go.
X Factor in full control here, Matty. All 3 of their players on the Snake side are pumping paint Dorito side. Their Dorito players are pumping paint Snake side, so it's really making it hard for Uprising to make any moves out of their primary bunkers. Obviously, they lost 3 on the break, right? Starting off a hole, now lose another body.
And knowing,
lost 2 on the
knowing
break.
that point spread doesn't mean much out here right now, this is just X Factor going to burn clock. They have a good cushion here. Still 6:30 to go. Force the concession, and that's what happens. So Uprising going to have to spot X Factor a 4th point to keep that 6:34 on the clock. But it was just another real solid one here as X Factor had Parrish, Tom Guest, and Billy Bernaccia and Rainey Stanzik all still alive in that one.
A little bit interesting, too, is the tale of the 2 teams between X Factor and Houston Heat. X Factor knew where the bodies were, knew what the count was, and just going to sit there, shoot their guns, and kind of communicate and fine-tune, whereas Houston Heat figured that out, was ready to go.
That was Cody, actually.
I wasn't going to say it. I just saw the same thing. I'm like, oh, damn,
Dude,
that was Cody.
I'm sorry, man. Every team has twins, and right now, Parrish and Cody Bayless.
I love that it's our fault, though, right?
Yeah, blazing fast. Yeah, guys, can you change your head wraps up a little bit? Oh, different goggle frame, something, you know?
I want to know what LJ's over there doing, too, that is so important that we make sure it's him doing it. Is he shooting 5 guys a game?
Hey, he wants his shine, dude.
Apparently. Here we go. Good breakouts from both teams. Houston Heat up in the middle. Chad's up in that center can. He's going to use that to get to one of those 50s. Chad makes a great move. Gets to that 50. Comes outside. Like to see this. We haven't seen Chad over here very often. Getting a different look here. And for me, if I'm Houston Heat in this tight 2-2 game with Thunder, I'm definitely getting those bodies up there. 5 minutes left. Chad, great. Chad George stayed alive on the break. They held him back a little bit. That was smart. If they're keying up on that guy, don't keep sending him to his death. Really good call there from Todd. Use Chad to get Chad to get up there first. Now Chad, the other Chad.
Man, Heat's playing this one like they need 2 to tie. But it's a tie ball game right now. Both teams have 2 with 4:44 to go. Heat is looking really good. They got Chad Boucher in a good spot. Chad, the 2 Chads in here. Chad George outside wide. Chad lived through this one because they're sweet spotting him out.
Oh, the referee is wearing it on that bounce shot right now. Yeah, to me, this is Houston Heat style of play. Every point should be like this for them. They should have 3 guys on the 50, 2 guys supporting them. The second one of the guys at the 50s die, one of the 2 guys supporting them should take that spot. When you have an aggressive, team like that, this is where they want to be. They want to be up here in the mix. Chad George communicating really well with Tyler Harmon. Chad Boucher looking Dorito side, trying to cut that side down.
Yeah, and just a good crossfield spread here and some control. So, and Heat's done this. They did it throughout the prelims, where they take some ground, they trap their opponents in those back bunkers, and then slowly but surely work them out.
Yeah, and then you put those guys, the number one thing when you get to these spots is control. You want to control and can keep them in their spots. And then you just keep applying more and more pressure to those spots until you find one of them that breaks.
And then slowly but surely get everyone on the team up near the 50.
Applying more and more pressure to those spots. Chad George is going to get a kill.
Chad George definitely, there was a couple on that bounce shot they're winging in.
I saw that. I was like, I don't know if he knows how close he is to getting shot right now.
Yeah, and Thunder doesn't have all of their bodies in the back. They do have a body in D3, and that's who everyone's a little bit more worried about because that angle is just better. Chad has to be very careful. Oh, but Chad wraps around and gets that kill. Nice job by Chad George.
Here it comes. Once the first falls. Ooh, Chad George working on that cross tower and the corner. Chad George already clocking in, getting 1 kill from this side of the field. Houston Heat now with 2 players on Seattle Thunder side of the field with Ryan Moorhead and Chad George. 4 on 5 advantage for Houston Heat. Another player eliminated. 3 on 5 advantage Houston Heat. Ryan Gizon filling out of the Dorito corner, backing up Ryan Moorhead over there. Houston Heat with 3 players on this X side of the field. Chad George really working hard to get that kill in Dorito 3, putting a lot of pressure on him. He's breaking paint right on the edge of the bunker, so he keeps thinking he's shooting him because he sees the paint spray. Can't tell because the guy's in the shadow.
There goes another body. Paddock Gleason taking the walk here for Thunder.
2 on 5, man. Sorry, they look good.
And every single bit of Heat's players are all, just like we talked about, at or past the 50. Every one of them, all 5.
Yeah, it's tough to beat these 5 guys on the 50-yard line. If you're the best team in the world and you're in the back and these got 5 guys on the 50, you're losing.
Chad George comes across, gets across no problem because of so much pressure being put on these last couple bodies. They could not even breathe in there.
They shot Ronnie. They got 6 kills that game.
Beautiful job by Chad George and Chad Boucher over here in the X.
Well, and great coaching, right? Hey, listen, they've shot Chad George 3 points in a row. Let's get Chad Boucher to go up there because we know we have to get a guy early up in there. We can start Chad George in the back. Once Chad's got that position locked down, then Chad George can move up there and the 2 of those guys can work together. Yeah. Great play call, great play by the players.
And great job by Ryan, Tyler, Ronnie, also to filter in. So very quickly getting in and up with the Chads. And that was just about as good as a point could be played here from Houston Heat.
The way I look at this field is if no one's stopping you, you should be moving forward into these, key bunkers.
The only body they lost was Ronnie.
And they shot
Ronnie, so.
Ronnie's great, too, because most guys turn around and get pissy, when you shoot him. He's just like, we won the point. I don't care. Sprints off, big smile on his face.
10 seconds.
X Factor playing from the red side of the field, up by a lot of points. Seattle Uprising really in a tough spot here.
Very cushy lead here. Nice and comfy 4-point lead with still 6:30 to go, but
it'd be interesting to see if X Factor uses this as an example or as an opportunity, as Cole Roberts gets a penalty, to try some different things, assuming they're already going to win this match. Why go out and do the same thing over and over again unless you don't feel like you're executing well?
X Factor does lose 2 bodies here pretty quick. So this is the opportunity for Uprising to get on the board and make it interesting, but they do have to go relatively quickly here, and then they pinch out body from that D side.
Yeah.
Parrish.
No, just say body from the D side.
Yeah, body from the D side. It's either code. No, 100% Parrish.
It was 100%
no way
Parrish.
Bayless. Parrish,
you mean Parrish Bayless? PB. Yeah, it's PB over there. Uprising with 2 or 3 players here on the 50, Matty, and I believe this is the first point that they've been here in these positions, and this is what they need to do if they want to try to pull back this match. Unfortunately, Meter's in a tough spot here in a 4 or 5-on-1. Gets one of them.
Meter fighting mightily.
Yeah.
And just getting too many guns looking at him. So Seattle Thunder needs to run in, or Uprising needs to run in and hit this buzzer.
Does Seattle Thunder have a deep roster medal? Maddie, sorry. Uprising, sorry.
Yeah, they got a pretty deep roster.
Because they got a guy limping in right now.
They have a deep roster. Okay. They just are missing 2 of their starters.
Okay.
So no Tommy Tucker and no Ormrod. Aaron Ormrod is here. He's the coach and actually suited up too, so in case they need him. But his brother is not here. And so yeah, when you're missing some of your core guys, that's an issue. But they do have a ton of bodies, so it's not like they're running light lines or a light line. Yeah, 9 guys on the roster.
30 seconds.
Some teams are running 6 out here. Lucky for us, though, these mornings have been very pleasant.
Yes.
It's the afternoon.
It almost makes up for the afternoons.
Makes up for the afternoons. Houston Heat, beautiful point in that last one, taking the lead.
Seattle Thunder, though, holding it down here, man. Only down by 1, Matt.
The future is very bright for this new roster of Seattle Thunder.
Yeah, and honestly, I was a little critical when they joined the 2 teams, going through that kind of thing in the past with different teams. It's always super hard, but man, they've done a great job of getting these 2 squads together to play well and work together. Chad Boucher getting eliminated, trying to move up the center. 5-on-4 advantage here for Thunder. Houston Heat dropping another player, Maddie.
Yeah, and Patty Gleason back on the attack during the brick. They also have a body at the 50 on the D side as well, too.
So 5-on-3 advantage here for Thunder, giving them a real good opportunity to win this point. Only 124 left, Maddie. If they win and they shoot Chad George, so 2-on-5. If Thunder can win this point and tie up this match, it's going to be huge. Only 1 Houston Heat player left alive. Houston Heat probably should concede this, give themselves a chance to come out and win another point, because they're going to end up losing this and they want as much time left as possible.
Well, it'll be tied still.
Yeah.
With 1 minute and 5 seconds left. Houston Heat has been one of those teams throughout the years that loves to steal wins.
Yeah.
With not a lot of time left. Famously with Chad Boucher scoring a 7-second point.
Mr. 7 seconds. I mean, that's not just sex. It's also how fast he plays.
Yeah. So, but like we were talking about, man, Thunder, I mean, if you're hanging with Houston Heat, you're a good paintball team, man. You're a team that could go deep on Sunday.
Now,
if you're giving Heat a run for their money.
If Heat's playing well, and Heat's playing really well, right? He could come out and have a horrible tournament. It doesn't matter who you are. You're doing okay, right?
Yeah.
But as well as they're playing, and you're tied against them, you're playing real good paintball, man.
Absolutely.
Congratulations to those guys. And again, getting 2 programs together that quickly and having this kind of success is unheard of.
On different coasts.
Yeah,
too.
Not the best circumstances.
And GJ has to fly in from Hawaii, so they've got guys all over the
anytime
place.
you say you're doing anything from Hawaii, it's hard to say that's like, oh, he's got to come from heaven.
Yeah, it's true, but it's a long plane flight to go to the East Coast from Hawaii.
Yeah. It's almost as long as going from the West Coast to the East Coast.
Well, it's like going from San Diego to Europe.
Yeah. No, it's only 6 hours to Hawaii, right? I haven't been in a couple of years, but I think it's 5-6 hours.
From the East Coast?
No, from the West Coast.
No.
Oh, they practice the East Coast?
That's my point, right?
Oh, I didn't know they practice the East
New York
Coast.
guys and the Northwest guys,
That's
and then you have
cold-blooded.
one guy out all the way in Hawaii.
And they can't meet together in Seattle?
I mean, shouldn't they just practice in Hawaii?
That's what I was thinking, too. Yeah.
X Factor, 3 points up on Seattle Thunder with 5 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the quarterfinals.
Uprising finally with a good breakout where they get 5 bodies, but they have 2 guys losing their hopper, and we have their first elimination over there on the D side. So 4-on-5 advantage here for X Factor. X Factor up by 3 points as Rainey makes a big move into the Y structure on the Dorito side of the field. Player now for X Factor moving from the corner into Dorito 3. Inside Rainey there, they can work together. Billy Bernacci in the corner for X Factor.
Billy gets out of the corner, gets into brick 1 as X Factor making moves with Rainey early into the wedge, and he's going to get some help as they get out. Oh, the Rainey looks right out into one, though. It's a great kill here for Uprising.
Might have caught a little bit of a sun. That was Creed who shot Rainey and then takes the move into the 50. So great move by Creed there, getting that key kill on Rainey, and then
Creed gets shot cross
that's
field.
Disappointing. Oh, and Creed says, "Hey, you're number 1, buddy. You can keep shooting me. You can keep shooting me, number 1."
Creed is catching some extra bonus balls. And
I like him. He's got a little fire in him.
Not happy about that.
Yeah, probably a little frustrated that he got shot because he knows how important it is getting Rainey off of the field. He knows how important it is getting to that key position. He's like, I was just going to win this point. You blew it for me.
Well, it was Parrish Bayless that got that shot.
Oh, PB got it? PB with the cross shot. Good job, PB. Uprising releasing over there. I like the way Uprising is playing here. They can't afford to just sit back on the... Oh,
Scotty Knight comes through, and he gets clipped before he gets a shot in on Bayless. And it looks like penalty going to be assessed on... Was that on Knight or Olsen?
Somebody, it was on the other tape.
Yeah, somebody on Uprising ended up getting that, getting the penalty, which is going to throw the point over to X Factor.
Yeah, because PB was telling the ref to throw that flag when the ref flag threw it, so I think it's on that tape. Yeah. And I think they only had one to pull, so they might be starting down, Matty.
Well, it was looking for a second like Uprising might make this a game, but then Creek gets shot from Bayless. And then Knight also trying to come through to trade out that body, and he got shot. I just couldn't tell if it was, because Olsen was walking off over there as well, so I couldn't tell if it was Olsen or if the penalty was on Knight, but somebody on Uprising got a penalty.
Yeah.
And that threw the point away, so. But hey, you know what though? They're down a bunch, not a lot of time left. You got to start rolling dice on the aggression and see if you can get lucky. Just not working out for him. Does look like X Factor should be able. I mean, there's still a lot of time left, but now Uprising is going to be in that, low percentage, not a high chance of it working out, running into guns situation, trying to score, 3 points in 3 minutes and 27 seconds left. And with how well X Factor's been locking up these zones, I don't really see them doing that. Possible though, you never know.
It would come down to X Factor making mistakes, right?
Like some majors or losing their heads.
Yeah. Going out with 3 guns that didn't work or something. Now, this, on the other hand, is a very interesting point about to be played. Both these teams are tied up. If Thunder can shoot 2 dudes on the break, which they were able to do a couple of these points, Houston Heat's got a tough situation because they've got to win this point in order to go forward in this event.
And everyone out there, thank you so much for joining us here. We're in the quarterfinals right now at the 2022 NXL Golden State Open. 10 seconds to go. Tie ball game right now. 10 seconds to go before the start of the point. Heat versus Thunder.
Let's see what they do with Chad George. Chad can get out alive. Oh, I think they, Chad got bounced. He's getting checked. Hopefully he made it in there. Oh, he got lucky. Said Chad George does get lucky and make it in there. Paddock Gleason, on the other hand, does go aggressively into that 50, Matty.
Yeah, Gleason's a weapon. He's been very proficient at taking ground and getting into key spots.
He's going to get a kill across field. Oh!
Thorn in the side for Houston Heat right now with Paddy Gleason in a good spot. Chad George right in front of him, Tyler Harmon, but yeah, body drop in here for Heat. And also move being made on that D side as well too, but it looks like the ref's going to come and check out Gleason. He's good to go. They do lose the attacker on that D side. Chad George eats up Gleason, and with 28 seconds left, Houston Heat still got to work out 3 bodies. It's a 3-on-3.
Mr. 7 seconds is over there on the Dorito side now on Thunder's side of the field, Matty.
Yeah, Chad Boucher's in a good spot. Tyler and Chad, and it looks like Tyler's going to get taken out here. So now it's a 2-on-3 situation in favor of Uprising with just 10 seconds left. I think we're probably going to see an overtime point. Maybe not, though, as Chad George gets eaten up. This side's completely blown open.
Oh, if he would have gone when he shot Chad, he'd have won this point.
Yeah, and it's Chester.
Chester, come on, buddy.
Got the 2 kills. A minor penalty was thrown at the very end.
Chester, next time just get that guy and go, buddy.
It was a minor penalty assessed on Tyler, or sorry, not Tyler, on Chad Boucher. Chad's over there arguing with the refs. The refs are going to converge. Chester's screaming bloody murder over here. He did get 2 kills. I mean, he ate up. Look, dude, you're going to eat up Tyler Harmon and Chad George with 15 seconds left.
Might be move. You don't know. Move of the day.
I mean, he didn't get the point, though, and I think we got a lot of paintball to play. I like that you're bringing it up, though. Right? Yeah, and there's $1,000 at stake for Move a Sunday, courtesy of McClenny, Mosley, and Associates. It's a law firm all across the United States that represents people in property claims. So if you do need their help, you can hit up. It's 844-662-7552. But they put up $1,000. There was $500 for the move in the prelims. It went to Chavez from the Paintball Fit.
Chavez, I expect you to at least bring us a taco or something, for God's sakes, with all your money.
Yeah, you can see it there on your screen. Yeah, and with Chester here, I mean, that was pretty nasty. And that now we got to start remembering that guy's
something,
name,
right?
Because he just
it's
proved
the starting one, right?
Yeah, it's it's part of the conversation because we really haven't seen anything crazy out here yet. Nothing of note.
Yeah, it's been pretty standard.
Yeah, pretty standard paintball out here. You know, nothing. Nobody's had to do anything insane yet to put the team on the back, but we do have a lot of paintball to go.
Other than PB.
It's 8:40 in the morning. We just started playing. Yeah, so the referee's going to figure it out. So it looked like there was a minor on Chad Boucher at the very end. He was the last body. We're going to be going to overtime regardless. The question is, will Houston Heat, will they agree that that was a legit penalty?
Will they agree?
Houston Heat, start with 4, putting themselves in a bad spot, and can Thunder upset Houston Heat and move on into the semifinals and get into top 4? They made Sunday at the last event, which is just impressive because, you know, I mean, it's really hard out here. You merge 2 teams. We keep talking about it because it bears mentioning and repeating. In 12th place for Thunder at the first event, and they looked pretty good in that one, remember?
Yeah.
Even though not making Sunday, but hey, again, just brought the teams together. And then they didn't play Texas, but then they took 6th at the last major. And then now here looking, I mean,
they're playing on Sunday.
It's not over yet. They are playing on Sunday, but they could be going into a power play.
Yeah. And I don't think anybody would have guessed that, you know, it was going to be an overtime match between Houston Heat and Thunder.
Yeah, or, I mean, maybe they could give them the point depending on what they shake out on the argument.
Yeah.
I mean, it could just go right through. I didn't see here on the scoreboard if they did end up giving the point or if we are going to be putting 5 minutes on the clock and going to overtime. This one's still to be decided, but
not really.
Not really.
I think it's been decided.
X Factor.
20 seconds.
It'd also be great for X Factor after a slow start to the year, missing 2 Sundays in a row, and then going deep on Sunday at the last one and make it to just, you know, into the top 4. And the way they're looking, I mean, we still have, you know, obviously, you know, Dynasty Ironmen and Impact coming out, and we still got some more battles going down here. But early, X Factor does look like a favorite out here.
For sure. I mean, I feel like they're always a favorite.
Oh, yeah, of course. San Antonio X Factor.
Yeah.
They're world champs.
Oh, PB, I think, gets a kill over there. Uprising player taking a walk. Another player immediately attacking for Uprising, though. Rainey releasing into that wing over there on the Dorito side of the field. He's going to be working with PB. Rainey will be playing kind of a defensive position, keeping Uprising from attacking, as PB is trying to play an offensive position, working down the Doritos and eliminating players. Uprising with the player in the snake corner over here, but I think he's the only player on this side of the field, Maddie, in the X corner over here. I don't see anybody else.
Rainey crawling up.
Yeah.
Getting to the brick and the V on that D side.
Yeah, 2 Uprising players taking a walk, 3 Uprising players taking a walk now as Mina Ninos releases down the X side of the field, gets a cross kill. Dorito, one great shot on the move there for Meter. That was nice.
Yeah, so, yeah, just another full field press with Parrish, Rainey, Roberts, Meter Ninos. I mean, it's just X Factor's looking dialed right now. No other way to say it. 6-1, 1 point away from a Mercy Rule win.
Yep, they are locked in.
At least Uprising made it to Sunday, though. You know, I mean, they do get better as the year progresses. We've got 2 more events to go, and I'm looking forward to seeing you know, Uprising get 2 of their starters back as well, too. They're just really getting worn out on that D side here in this match.
Yeah.
X Factor is definitely getting the better of them over there for sure. I mean, Creek's been trying to go to war over here.
They've been consistently getting up to this tape and kind of doing well.
But the problem is that, okay, cool, so Creek's getting into, you know, trying to get in position, but X Factor has just been so dominant with either Bayless or Parrish, and then, you know, crawling up to that, just, and shooting bodies on the break over there too. I mean, that's kind of been the big story in this game.
Well, it's like 2 stories, because Creed's over here doing really well, but he's all by himself against 2 or 3 guys. So he's getting an elimination, sometimes 2 eliminations, and then dying, and he's kind of the only one over here. And then on the flip side, no one's pushing up on that drill side because they're getting, you know, they're getting dinked out early. So it's like a double negative.
Well, it looks like, I mean, I don't see either Heat or Thunder coming out to play this, you know, overtime point that we thought we were going to see.
Maybe they're still figuring it out.
You know, I think that they, I mean, from the way things shook out with that penalty at the end, I mean, they might have given it the win to Thunder.
I mean, Thunder looks like they're excited over there.
Yeah, Thunder just got a high huddle going on and the team, you know, chant over here
Wow,
in the pit. So
how crazy would that be?
I think Thunder just knocked out Houston Heat. We have our first upset of the day.
Wish we could tell you exactly what happened, but it's possible.
Talking about the move of the tournament so far, it does look like Chester shooting those two bots, shooting Chad George and Tyler Harmon in front of him at the very closing moments of it, might have sealed the win to knock Houston Heat out of the tournament and send Seattle Thunder into the top 4. Wow.
How happy are the other top teams right now if Houston Heat's going home? How happy is Impact, Dynasty, and X Factor? Like, oh, we got a chance, boys.
Yeah, real happy. I mean, because anytime if you're a top team and in the running for series title, yeah, I mean, because the top teams always get better as the day progresses. So yeah, if you can knock a Houston Heat out of the quarters,
well, especially
if you're Impact or Dynasty and the other top-ranked squads out here, you're definitely smiling big smiles.
Yeah, because now you're getting rid of a huge competitor, and you're also getting another team that you think theoretically is softer than you are. So it's like a win-win.
Well,
I have not seen Houston Heat like storming off the field or anything yet, or taking their gear off or anything. So I don't know for sure.
Well, see Jason over there.
Jason is over there.
Thunder. Thunder looks pumped, man.
Yeah, they are high-fiving.
That must have been what happened then. I'm just wondering how. We'll get in between the sets. We'll figure out exactly what the story was. But I mean, Chad got a penalty in the closing seconds of that, and after some discussion, it does look like Houston Heat will be packing the bags and going home.
Wow.
Yeah, because. And is the clock even running? The clock is running, so 45 seconds before the start of potentially the last point here, as it's been San Antonio X Factor putting a little bit of a beating here on Uprising.
30 seconds.
Wow, that is an interesting turn of events.
It certainly is.
We have Impact and Level, Dynasty, and Ironmen coming up next here in the quarters.
What else is going to happen in the next couple matches?
Yeah, I mean, could Level rise to the occasion and upset Impact? And Ironmen upset Dynasty?
Ironmen, Level, Uprising. I mean, Thunder.
That would be. I mean, it would be tough for the top teams, but it'd
be amazing for us.
Make an argument that would be good for paintball.
Yep. Ooh, I do not like that change-up. They hold Crete in the back, have him shoot on the break and secondary into this tower. Gets bounced going in there. No, he gets eliminated going in there. Lucky he didn't get a penalty on that.
Body dropping in the top of the field or from the D side, and looks like a body coming off for Gastic getting shot for X Factor.
Uprising losing another body from the D side, Matty. Player over here for Uprising.
I just saw him crawl up. I'm like, wait a second. He doesn't have a barrel on his gun.
He's now putting his barrel on his gun.
And he's about to get run down from Billy, and that is going to do it, as that was the last player left alive. So there goes a mercy rule win.
Interesting match so far. Hope we get more of those today.
Wow. So Thunder is going to, looking like, again, I haven't got official confirmation, but.
Well, if they don't go back out right now, we know.
Yeah, so the way the brackets are shaken out is that X Factor going to be taking on Uprising. They will play the winner of Dynasty versus Ironmen. And then Seattle Thunder looking like they just knocked out Houston Heat, our first big upset Sunday. And then they will play the winner of Edmonton Impact and Columbus Level. But the battle going down out here after this quick short break is going to be Dynasty versus Ironman, good old classic, legendary SoCal battle. And then Edmonton Impact going to take on Columbus Level. We'll be right back. 2022 NXL Golden State Open. I'm Matty Marshall with Rich Telford. See you in just a few.
1, 2, 3, kick guard! If you're worried if somebody's got the trap, call and find out if the trap's there.
That's a full team effort. All 9 guys
full
on the
team effort. It's an easy game if you're doing it with your brother.
2-on-5 situation.
Let's go, Heat. One side ticket.
It's hard, but we're doing it together.
To what would you give each moment in a day if you knew that you only get 4 unique and different days to shine? It is such an arbitrary number, 4 to be sure. But the parameters are set. You know the day of your execution or of your deliverance. This is a trial by combat. It's a day to define you, a day to test you, a day where all the torturous hours of training come together, where it's you, your gun, your preparation, your teammates, and your tenacity on display, dissected by your enemies, with your skill, your will to win, weighed and measured. It is your chance to prove to the world that in this small slice of place and time, that you above all others are to be remembered, to be respected. In the sport of paintball, it will come down to Sunday, the holy day, where you get to earn your place in the game. And in 2021, you get 4 of these. So this is the story of many moments, but of 1 year of what happens on 4 Sundays.
Hard, they have to, they know it, right? Hard fucking paintball.
Malice is just saving the day again, and Malice gets the crossfield shot as well.
Guys couldn't make the corner like I was as consistent.
They get Konstantin Fedorov back. They have Todd Martinez as the coach. Randy Smith is intent on building a championship team.
I got the chills, and I was like, we're going to win this tournament.
Pressure's all on them because they're number 1 team. We're the 20th place team.
Level undefeated, the number 1 seed in their division.
They have everything to lose, and we have nothing to lose.
No one can touch Dynasty here. That was a complete masterclass.
You go to bed dreaming you get to play Impact on Sunday and send them home. Then you dream you get to play Houston Heat. Who's the other Titan? Dynasty. There's no better feeling than going up against the big Titans.
I feel like there's always been a general culture of, oh, they're just women, you know. I don't think a lot of people take women seriously when they play against them. They certainly feel bothered when they get shot by women. We have the stage now to show that we can play, but not just that we can play, but that we can play well.
I've heard the word surreal being used a lot, and that's really true. I don't think anybody ever expected anything like this to happen. It wasn't something that we asked for. I think it was something that we didn't realize we were missing it until we had it.
The reason that WNXL is important to have is because it creates a community that simply welcomes more women to the sport in general.
To be able to go on the field and compete against your actual friends and your sisters, and then come off the field and be friends off the field is a huge thing.
I've been in paintball for as long as I can remember. My dad's been doing paintball for 30 years, and I've been playing for 8. So I think it's great that we get to have this opportunity to have a voice out there finally and be able to show all these guys what we can do on the field.
They have accelerated their rate of learning and being taught by some of the paintball's greats, like Dave Baines from Sacramento Diamonds, like Todd Adamson from Femme Fatale, my own husband, Mike Paxson, who's representing Destiny. There's so many people that love helping others, especially the female kind. And I think it's really important for us as leaders of these women to show them that they're capable. Not that we have to cater, but that we can give them the tools necessary so they can compete on an equal playing field. If we give them the platform and we give them the tools, these female kind can play just like the male kind.
For the girls that want to be taken more seriously in paintball, to really challenge yourself, to really go out on the local field and don't be afraid to ask questions, don't be afraid to just meet friends and get on the field and play as much as possible.
I really want girls, not just paintballers, but girls around the world to know that this is a fun sport, this is something we do belong in. No sport is just a man's sport, you know, we can do anything that they do. We're not afraid to get dirty, and we're not afraid to get down and bunker some fools.
For them to showcase women in paintball is super important. The WNXL is still a brand new league, and obviously we're super excited to be a part of it and be a part of a new history, but we're also looking forward to the next generation of girls.
It makes me so happy to see that there's so many people that are behind this women's division. For those of us that have been doing this paintball thing for a long time, we owe it to our community to pass the torch. And I guarantee you that everybody in the long run is going to be thankful for it. It's only going to help everybody in the bigger picture at the end of the day.
Welcome back. Quarterfinals about to go down in the professional division. 2022 NXL Golden State Open here at Capital Edge Paintball Park outside of Sacramento, California. Matty Marshall, blessed to have Thomas Taylor, legend of the game from Los Angeles Infamous, up here to help us call this set with paintball legend Rich Telford, and we got ourselves a good one. San Diego Dynasty about to throw down against the Los Angeles Ironmen, as these two teams have been battling against each other for 2 decades. This new Ironman team looking pretty sharp enough to make it to a Sunday. That's really going to help them get out of that, the bottom of the pro division and not have to worry as much about relegation. Now, Dynasty has been on a run the past year and a half, and 4 major wins in a row. They did not make Sunday in Texas on the blind layout, but they've looked amazing here on this blind layout. Point number 1 looks like the first body to drop is going to be for San Diego Dynasty. And then, they might be losing another one. Oh, he did, just out a little bit too wide. So just 3 players left alive for Dynasty right now as the Ironmen pushing the issue on that D side, getting into the brick.
Yep, Ironmen taking more real estate over there on the rear side and winning the breakout, so giving themselves a big advantage here in the first point of this match.
The D side has been real dangerous all division. I like the Ironmen pushing that early, getting in there, pulling that cross up, and capitalizing on it really.
100%. Now they just have to execute, right? They're in the spots. They have the bodies. Now they just basically have to win 3 gunfights.
Well, I like this, what they're doing over here on the snake side, Rich. Look at this. We got one, and then a second guy backing him up right now, and Dynasty getting a penalty.
Oh,
it's going to be a major.
Yeah,
Ooh,
Thomas Urena getting a major penalty here, and they're going to, that should seal the deal here on this point, as it looks like Tregarthen's going to crawl down.
Yeah.
As soon as he pops up, he's not going to have anyone to shoot.
As soon as he counts those 2 guys walking off the back line, I think he'll figure out.
But right before the major, I was going to say, it was really nice. You watch the Ironmen moving up and immediately filling out. And when you tag team the snake 1-2, 1-2, you can always have one looking cross and one protecting, and that's really good on this field.
Yeah, and that's what we found that's the most successful, Thomas, is a good attacker over here and then a good 2 behind him that can fill in, either protect him or fill in when he dies.
Right, exactly.
A lot of times you get the guy who's so isolated that when the one either gets shot or goes through, he's completely out of the game.
Yeah, if you're still stuck back here in this tower and your snake player is all the way up here, I know this is not a traditional snake for you guys who are watching online, but this is the snake side of the field, and you lose that guy, you're not filling out because someone is going to be in the bricks, they're going to be cross field, and they're going to stop you.
Also, if you guys are joining us on your social networks, make sure you let everyone know that this battle is going to be going down here Sunday. We're in the quarterfinals, and we've already seen an upset as Houston Heat going to be packing their bags and heading home. So yeah, let everyone know that the battle going down here, and then please join us on gosports.com coming up. Right now, first point between Edmonton Impact and Columbus Level, and Level going to be the first to go. They get a body into the brick with Danny Schonauer. He's going to be looking inside, trying to shut that lane down. Looks like Impact also taking a little bit of ground with Zupa here into brick 2 and getting a body. The good crossfield spread. Oh, but it looks like Danny Schonauer is going to get that first kill. I definitely saw something break off that player.
Absolutely,
right?
man.
You guys see
The
that?
ref is not going in, but that guy was
It does not matter
shot.
what we saw, guys. It doesn't even matter what Danny saw. It only matters what the refs saw.
Right, and that Dorito's really moving, so I'm going to go ahead and say that hit is gone. But you know what? I like this breakout by the Impact, going all the way to the snake entry bunker off the break.
Well,
But Level, great counter. They paused and released right up to the snake brick and looking cross and getting the quick
almost
shot.
getting a kill there.
Yes.
He could
but
be
look,
shooting
he's
Nick
going to get
Laval.
another one right here.
Oh, Nick Laval.
He missed him?
What?
Danny missing the shot on Nick Laval as Nick Laval dives across, and they lose a body coming off early right now for Level from that D side. So it's a 4-on-5 situation.
Though, Matty.
Sam Silberg. Yeah, Sam Silberg, Thomas, making the move to the 50, gets that kill on the Vol.
That was a key kill because he could have easily taken out Danny.
Oh, into their side of the field,
Gets
and he's
caught.
going to get, oh, he didn't trade.
Gets caught on the cross from Zupa.
So
Zupa's been playing so well over here for Impact.
Yeah, Impact running a little bit of a light line. I think they only have 6 players, maybe 7 here.
So we did get confirmation on that because in Boston,
Yes.
you said they had 11. I'm like, I only see 7 bodies.
On the roster, they had everyone on the roster.
That was clever. They were very deceptive with that.
It's like, you look online, like, oh, they're bringing everyone. No, they only have 6 or 7 guys, but those guys have been playing great. So.
Right. Well, and this is a perfect field for Zupa. He's not your fastest player. He is very aggressive, but he's also very smart. So having the bricks where he can bump and move in, this is the type of field you're going to see him.
Yeah, you don't need a lot of athleticism, right? Just a little bit of brains goes a long way out here.
Absolutely.
Well, Danny's still trying to get another shot on that
Level losing a player again, though. So 3-on-3 here. Went from a 5-on-3 to a 3-on-3. Danny's still in good position. Justin Rabikoff, the only player on the Dorito side for Impact, having to play a little island ball over there. If he goes forward and gets dinked out.
I think
Level just lost their Dorito mat, so now they're going to be 2-on-3.
Just 2?
2-on-3 or 4 though? Is
4. The Dorito's still hot.
Yeah,
Matt?
that's what I thought.
Oh, that's right. That guy
I haven't
left
seen
yet.
him. I mean, he hasn't looked this way.
Well,
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't look away from the ref either.
He's literally not taking his face off the bunker. He's got the left side of his face just sitting on the bunker. There's definitely not a hit here, ref.
Oh, okay. We're clean. He's finally peeking around. Hey, but you know what? Impact doing what they do so well. Sitting in their bunkers, just shooting their guns, waiting for Level to make mistakes.
Control.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They're really, really good at just sitting there and not making any mistakes, allowing the other team to overextend a little bit.
Another body coming off for Level, so looking like this one's going to go to Impact. Has too many deaths out of their spots here for Columbus Level. Everyone dying behind Danny Schonauer, and first point is going to go to Edmonton Impact. Silberg made it interesting on that D side, but couldn't get more than one on that move that he made.
Yeah, if Zupa hadn't picked him up, it might have been a much closer point.
Well, and once again, this is a little bit of a risk going here. You can't go every time, but if you mix it in, you're going to make it. Getting Zupa here and just putting him on a job, really. Look inside, wait till we get up on bodies, and that's what really saved the game. Otherwise, he would have been on their side of the field shooting people in the back.
Yeah, and talking about the risk, the real big risk is getting to that first brick, right? Getting through that gap between the tower and the brick. Once you get there, it's not as hard to get to that second brick. So if you're only doing it every second or third point, you're going to make it most points.
Yeah.
Right, because most teams are concentrating on those inside shots, the more guaranteed
You're not going to
kills.
give up the inside shot because that's your best shot.
Absolutely.
So
here we go in this next match with the Ironmen and Dynasty.
Dynasty switching sides now here with the Ironmen. Ironmen red jerseys on the red side of the field. Dynasty blue jerseys, blue side of the field. And on the breakout now, see if we get a good old 5-on-5 break. Looks like we do.
Yeah, if the Ironmen can just have 5 more points like that last one, they can win this match.
Guys, both guys going into the 50. Who will see it first, or who's getting shot in the pack?
Dynasty gets there first, but Treegarth picks
he misses
him up.
his shots. Missed his shot on Arturo.
And then
Alex is going to go get him.
Yeah, Alex must be hearing Chris's gun going off right now. He's going to come around. He's going to stab Chris. Beautiful move here to clear it out. As he had to pay the toll to do it, but nice job there by Alex Frazee, the legend.
Still got it and doing it. Love it,
I like the retreat, though, from Arturo. So Arturo feeling the pressure comes back, now realizing that it's open, and he's going to run across, and looks
Gets
like
that kill over there on Nikolai.
Yeah, on Kyle.
I just want to point out one thing here, why Dynasty's been so successful. Arturo heard that area was hot. He didn't even hesitate, ran through and bunkered him.
Yeah.
Not like, are you sure, whatever. He had such confidence in that, he just went straight through and got his kill.
Only one player left alive now, Nick Sloviak in the Dorito Tower. Dynasty with, it looks like 2 players left alive, maybe 3. This point devolved pretty quickly here.
Yeah,
Blake taking the walk.
Arturo's still alive, and he's going to
Blake
get
and
another kill. So Arturo Andrade,
Ryan Greenspan,
really smart as he did a little retreat back to the wedge. Beautiful move from Frazee to run through and get that kill and trade out. And then Arturo goes to work, comes through, checks off the bunker right in front of him just to make sure, gets the inside kill. Had at least a 2-pack.
Yeah, and stayed alive the whole point, right? Because the knock is a lot of times those guys do a lot of work and then walk out with that last guy, right?
Right.
But doing the work and then staying alive is crucial.
Right, stopping in that Dorito instead of just running all the way through to the break and be like, well, I got my guy. Well, you died. No, he stopped, he played it, did the gunfight. But, like, dude, you see that the second the Ironman player got in, someone must have told him, I can't hear from up here, but he didn't even hesitate because there's no way he saw it. He was looking snake, went through and got him.
Yeah,
Chris did miss
his shot.
Bam.
Chris did miss his shot, though.
He did.
He was gun up first.
Yeah, Arturo beat him there. Yep. But Arturo didn't get the read on Chris popping up, and then Chris did miss that shot. So might have been a way different story if Chris was able to get that.
For everybody who's watching at home, when you're looking at these 250 bricks, what happens most of the time I've seen is players come up on the inside of it. So they come up and they instantly see each other. But what the Ironman player did really smart is he came up on the back side of it, so the other side can't see you. Arturo came up on the inside, so he should have had a free kill.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I meant.
It should have been a free kill. Absolutely. He just missed his shot, man.
Yeah, sometimes you miss your shot, man.
It does happen, especially when you got to get that gun and you see the body, you're like, oh, there it is, and then just whizzing one right by the top of his head. Here we go. Columbus level needs to answer.
Yeah, they need
he got shot off the break.
Danny got shot early. Putting a lot of pressure on Weber over here to step up now.
Zupa making this front break again on the snake side.
Yeah, and Cornell very quickly getting into D3. Looks like Level's going to match that with Silberg. It's a 5-on-4 situation in favor of Edmonton Impact, though. And then there goes Laval's going to get out wide behind Brandon Cornell.
Notice Brandon's playing that Dorito a lot looser this game. A lot more relaxed.
Interesting. So did anybody talk to Dave and find out why half the team's not here?
I did talk to Dave, and he confirmed that they were missing a bunch of guys, but I didn't get the answer why.
I assumed maybe the Canadians one, maybe it's just too expensive, you know?
Well,
travel's crazy right now.
Yeah, travel is crazy, and this is also kind of a tough time with weddings and vacations and work to get a full squad sometimes. But it looks like Brandon Cornell going off right now as Level's having, again, a hard time staying alive in their spots. So pretty quick point here for Edmonton Impact.
Good off the break shooting by Impact, and then just quick bumps down the Doritos. You know, I mean, that was just a solid play. And once again, risking that front break. Now, if you're Level, you have to shoot for that because he's dicing you up, and it's going to open up something else in the field for Impact.
Yeah, he's gone there twice, so now you have to. And if you don't shoot him on the break, it puts much more emphasis on you getting up over there and getting that zone controlled before he can go forward.
Take that off the break or shoot this guy. You only really have two choices.
You got to try to do both, right? Because you don't know if you're going to shoot him on the break, so you've got to commit to both of them and then hope either one or both works.